See if you can spot this one.
Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem.
degrees and sunny here from Bison Stadium as the Bethany Bison gets set to take on the Carnegie Mellon Tartans, coming in with a record of 5-1, 4-1 in the PAC to face the 2-3 Bison, who look to get in the win column here today and make it a 2-game winning streak, Linnell, as just a week ago they defeated Geneva here at home 27-24.
Yeah, they did it by stopping Geneva's three-headed monster rushing attack, that exotic smash mouth football, as you like to call it, that triple option offense. Defensively, they were very sound. They had big number 5 Daniel Gibson return back to the lineup, and I look for him to have his big hands all over this one today.
Yeah, and what are some of the keys, Linnell, that you're looking for here for Carnegie Mellon to get it done, and then also for Bethany to get it done here this afternoon?
Well, for the Tartans, they've got to continue to do what they've done on the ground. With Luke Baglodge and Chris Haas, the senior, has been tremendous rushing the football. That is what they've done. Has been their bread and butter. They've struggled to throw the football last week, only throwing for 21 yards. Balance is going to be the key for them, though, because if you think you're going to come in here to Bison Stadium and try to run the ball down the throat of this Bethany defense, you've got another thing coming.
Yeah, and an interesting note just to look at here is Carnegie Mellon coming off just a week ago a win against Waynesburg. They defeated them 24-23. The numbers showed the Bison beat this team earlier in the season 49-17. Do you think that factors in a little bit here?
Yes and no, because I always like to say any given Saturday here, as right now, currently number 1 seed Case Western only up against the last seed St. Vincent by 5 points right now. For those looking for a PAC update, they're late third quarter. But if you look at the contrasting styles of these two football teams, they both want to run the football, and defensively they both want to get after the passer. Both starting quarterbacks coming in today, talking about Carlin Basin and J.D. Dayhuff, the 3rd and 4th most sacked quarterbacks in the conference. So it looks to be a battle of the trenches today up front. Whichever offensive line can protect their quarterback the best, I think will be successful.
And I think to say that Carnegie Mellon wants to come out here and run the football is an understatement, as this team only threw for 21 yards a week ago, but put up 275 yards on the ground.
Yeah, and it's going to be one of those games where I think they're going to try to get it going early and often here, but also wouldn't surprise me if they take a deep shot here early on. This Bethany secondary gave up 2 long balls to Geneva, a team that does not traditionally want to throw the football. I think if they watched any film, they'd definitely be looking to take a shot here early in this one.
Oh, absolutely, and just to note as well for Carnegie Mellon is, 275 yards on the ground is just absolutely unbelievable. 6th in rushing offense coming into this game and 5th in passing offense. So, what are some of the things that you look for this offense to do heading into this game here against a pretty aggressive Bethany defense that showed what they could do against the run just a week ago?
Like we said, they like to run a little bit of zone action in their running game, but they want to RPO you as well. J.D. Dayhuff, didn't only threw for 21 yards last week. It was 4-12. But those 12 attempts, they spread them out very nicely throughout all 4 quarters. You'll probably see 3 to 4 shots per quarter for them offensively, but it's going to stay on the ground with senior Chris Haas, who actually absolutely ran through this Bethany defense a year ago to the tune of 100-plus yards. So I know defensive coordinator Dave Arnold is going to want to key in on this Carnegie Mellon rushing attack.
And a big factor for this Bison team is big number 5 in the trenches for the Bethany Bison, and that is senior defensive tackle Daniel Gibson. What's his impact like, Linnell?
Well, you saw it last week, on our broadcast, if you were listening, all of the names that you kept hearing was Daniel Gibson, Daniel Gibson, Daniel Gibson. Finished the game with 7 tackles, including 3.5 tackles for loss. Didn't get a chance to get a sack because of what Geneva does offensively, but look for him here today to get after J.D. Dayhuff.
Yeah, and these two teams coming in, as we mentioned, love to run the football. What are some of the things that you expect to see from Bethany here today? Maybe a little more of the passing game, would you say?
Yeah, they started to open the passing game up a little bit last week, but for them, it's not just about the amount of attempts as far as throwing the football. It's about the balance. If they can get this rushing game going and get on the edges with seniors Carlin Basin and Raekwon Wright, it opens up everything for them in the pass game. And look out to see number 12 here today, Dom Salanetro, the sophomore, who threw a nice ball to Hunter Klein last weekend. And I expect him to get more and more integrated into this offense as the season wears on, as next year he's going to be the anticipated starter at quarterback.
Yeah, and one of the things that we mentioned as before is Salanetro. He came in, went 5 of 6, 76 yards, and did throw a touchdown to Hunter Klein. Yeah. And Hunter Klein was a guy that had a huge week just a week ago.
Flat out balled is what I call it. 6 receptions to the tune of 152 yards and a touchdown. Their big play guy. He's been it all season. Was iced out the previous 2 contests. Didn't register a catch. He had that game against Waynesburg where he had a big day. But it's been since then, he hasn't really got it going. But last week they made him a point of emphasis to get him the football early and often. And I expect more of the same here today.
Yeah, and this Bison team, just a little side note as well, is the kicker, as they like to call Legatron, Sean Cole. 2 of 2 on field goal attempts just a week ago, as well as 3 out of 3 on extra points. So definitely feel comfortable if you're Bill Garvey to send out the field goal unit.
The reigning PAC Special Teams Player of the Week is the man I like to call Legatron. I'm talking about Sean Cole. And I talked to him during the week. He said, I wish I'd just get more chances, man. Expect them to try to go to them when they get inside the Carnegie Mellon 30 to 45-yard line.
Yes, 2 minutes and 15 until we get to kickoff here, as notable of some of Carnegie's wins, defeating Geneva 31-6, and the huge upset win in week 3 against W&J, who came in as a top 25 opponent in the entire country.
Don't tell Carnegie Mellon that was an upset, because they feel like they're the best team in this conference, coming in 4-1 record inside the PAC. They currently sit at the 3 spot. And they're looking around scoreboard, watching here, probably see it at halftime to see what the other schools in the conference are doing, because right now the President's Athletic Conference is wide open, in my opinion.
Yeah, and that week ago against Waynesburg, is they had their first half struggles and had that second half surge that lifted them over Waynesburg.
Yeah, and it was the running game. We talked about it. Chris Haas, Luke McLodge. I mean, they kept it on the ground, and I expect them to do more of the same here today.
Bethany wins the toss. They elect to receive.
As Bethany wins the coin toss here, and they have elected to receive. So we will get to see, as we like to call the combo, Stees and Clees. We will get to see them early and active.
Talking about seniors Carlin Basin and Raekwon Wright. And Carlin Basin, I've touted him multiple times on this broadcast, in my opinion, the most electric player in the President's Athletic Conference. His combination of power when he runs and then the speed. It's one thing to be quick, and then there's one thing to be fast. He's got that quick twitch ability that allows him to get out of a jam in a hurry, and look for him to do it early and often today. Last year, going back against Carnegie Mellon, it was a Carlin Basin misstep that cost the Bison the game. They were driving down into Carnegie Mellon territory on the last 30 seconds of the game, and he went out of bounds instead of picking up the first down on 4th down. Cost them the game, something I know he has in the back of his mind, and we'll see it on this first drive if he's able to exercise those demons against this Tartan defense.
Yeah, what a game between these two teams just a year ago, as Carnegie Mellon just gets finished their little hype routine here, as they will send their special teams unit onto the field, as the Bison are already out there and ready to go, as Raekwon Wright is deep and set to return the opening kickoff.
Yeah, so we're going to see this Tartan defense on the field first. And they've got some guys on that defensive line, man. I tell you what, they get after the passer early and often is definitely the specialty of this football team. You want to talk about seniors Long Tran, Michael Lomere from Clenderon Hills, Illinois, brought to Hinsdale Central High School, and they get after the quarterback. Those 3 combined, 17 sacks, 24.5 tackles for loss on the season for them. So I expect freshman offensive lineman Tim Mickens to get a good work in today, as he has to go against this ferocious pass rush.
As Lions get set and booms this one deep, and we are underway, as this one will be brought out across the 20, out to the 25, and bumped out of bounds. A good return here to start for the Bethany Bison.
Yeah, and offensively for the Bison, as we noted earlier last week on the broadcast, 4 freshmen starting on this offensive line. The elder statesman of the group is junior guard Braylon Sibley, and they've held their own for the most part. Numbers might not always tell it in the sack department. As we mentioned, Carlin Basin, the 3rd most sacked quarterback in the conference, but some of those sacks are, Coach Garvey will tell you, are of Carlin Basin's fault, but they protected him well and have gotten better each week.
Here, 1st and 10 from the 28. As Basin will fake the give, and a floater inside complete to Greg Evans, who barrels ahead for a 1st down, and a really nice start to this drive.
5'11", 240 pounds is Greg Evans. They like to use him at the H-back spot, at the tight end spot, and if you remember, Jake, in the shootout, well, I wouldn't call it a shootout, it was a big-time loss against Washington and Jefferson. That was a touchdown that they opened with on the first play from scrimmage.
Here, 1st and 10 from the 48. Fake it to right. Basin diving inside. He'll pick up about 3 before he's brought down by this Carnegie Mellon defense, linebacker Mason Tolliver.
Yeah, you notice there they put senior defensive end Long Tran in the option series. That's how you neutralize a pass rush. When you've got a quarterback like Carlin Basin, who's such a threat on the ground, that read option will stop these pass rushers from screaming upfield.
As Salinetro checks in and Basin to his left. Didn't expect a snap. Fires underneath and complete. Pass intended for Abe Lyles, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
Yeah, it looks like, Salinetro wasn't expecting the snap to come that quickly as he was still communicating some things out to the offensive line. That time, timing just off. And interestingly enough, we'll see the man they like to call Steez at the top of the numbers.
Basin to give inside to Avon, barreling ahead in a 1st down again. Greg Avon getting busy here, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, credit the play caller, Coach Garvey. Every time on film we've seen Carlin Basin lined up at wide receiver, they've took a shot to him. That time, tendency breaker. Give it up the gut to your 5'11", 240-pound running back for a 1st down.
Salinetro stays the quarterback. Looking. Pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And that'll bring up 2nd down, batted down by Michael Lemire, the senior out of Clarendon Hills, a product of Hinsdale Central, the 6'3", 230-pound defensive end.
Yeah, he's been productive, but on that play, nice clean pocket for Salinetro to throw. Too bad it was tipped.
And they're getting it to the perimeter to Hunter Klein on the screen, and fighting ahead is Klein, and he will be forced out of bounds by a couple Tartans. So short gain, and that'll bring up 3rd and about 5 here.
Yeah, it's an area where the Bison offensively have been pretty good, coming into this one, converting at about 39% rate, good for 4th in the conference. So on 3rd down, they've had some decent success.
As Darius Taylor and Stephon Carter check into the game here. The fake to right, free rusher, and Basin can't shake him, and brought down for a loss in the backfield, brought down by senior outside linebacker Quinn Gaughan.
Yeah, and that time Gaughan came screaming off the edge. Basin didn't sense him at first, and when he tried to get outside, it was just too late on that one.
What a tough open field tackle that is to make on a guy like Carlin Basin.
Definitely is, but disappointing if you're the Bison. That was a really nice opening drive there. Picked up a couple 1st downs. We'll see if senior punter Anthony Fiasco can pin him deep.
This Fiasco set here, a high arcing punt.
Well, that's a beauty.
That'll be fair caught at the 14, and that's where we'll get to see J.D. Dayduff and this Carnegie Mellon offense for the first time here. As we mentioned, 275 yards on the ground, a team that knows they want to run the football, and this is what they're going to live and die by.
Yeah, yes, it is. And we talked about the running backs, specifically, Chris Haas, the senior. I mean, he's been one to get it done on the ground for years now. He's had a big impact in this conference. 2 touchdowns on the season only for him. 4.3 yards a carry, though. That's going to be something the Bison have to take note of.
Dayduff dropping, firing underneath, and tackled right away by Michael Berry. A pickup of about 5. And that'll bring up 2nd and 5 here.
Yeah, that time, too much time for Dayhuff there. It's been a struggle for this Bison pass rush to get to the quarterback this year, as they've only registered, I think, 6 sacks on the season, coming into this one. So got to get this pass rush humming.
2nd and 5 here from the 19. Dayduff, the give inside. Haas moving it ahead. And a gain of about 4, and that'll bring up 3rd and a yard here.
Yeah, that time a nice job by the Carnegie Mellon offensive line. You see pushing the defensive line 2 and 3 yards off the football. It's a nightmare playing the linebacker position when your defensive linemen are getting pushed into your lap. You're not able to scrape and your vision gets impaired.
As the Death Valley bells sound here on a 3rd and 1 from the 23. Dayduff, the give inside to Haas, looking, barreling ahead. This is going to be close.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the spot.
And they're going to wave them on. It's going to be a first down as Chris Haas finds a way to pick it up. The senior running back out of Corando, California, a product of Corando High School.
Yeah, and Haas, we mentioned it, just 2 touchdowns on the season, but the big number to me, 4.3 yards per carry. When you've got over 350 carries on the season, I'd say that's darn good, Jake Gerber.
Absolutely. As a little flip-flop here from the receivers. Roll to the right, a pitch inside, the shovel option inside, and brought down by Phil Taylor. And that'll be a gain of about 4, and that's going to bring up a third down.
Yeah, nice play design there, by the offensive coordinator for Carnegie Mellon. Got the defense flowing to the left, and then backside, there goes the flip, and he gets in there for a nice gain.
And 2nd and 5 here from the 30.
A lot of motion here early often from this Carnegie Mellon offense.
The give to Haas, looking for some room and absolutely nowhere to go as Michael Berry comes up into the hole to meet him.
Yeah, and his play has been stellar of late, talking about senior linebacker Mike Berry. Last week registering 13 tackles against Geneva, one of the leaders for this Bison defense. Thrusted into the starting lineup for his first time as he was playing behind all PAC linebackers, Will Gatlin and Joe Fiasco the last couple of years, but Berry definitely primed for the spotlight.
2 guys, Gatling and Fiasco, both played in the Senior Bowl down in Myrtle Beach. So some good experience for Berry as it's 3rd and 6.
Play action. Sent the blitz there, but it didn't get home.
Makes a man miss, and finally wrapped up and brought down by Bryce Rohrball, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that's a name that we're going to hear early and often here as well. Bryce Rohrball, just 2 sacks on the season, but he's a guy that's got a lot of hurry. It's something that doesn't show up in the stat box.
As the punt unit will come on here.
Yeah, good start for this Bison defense too, man. Getting them off the field. Yeah, you gave up a first down, but way to hold there. Bend but don't break is what Coach Arnold likes to say about his defense.
Shirk punts this one. This is a rather low liner that will roll and be downed at about the 38. So the Bison get the stop, and that's where we would get to see the Bethany Bison offense.
Yeah, and heck of starting field position here for the Bison. Keeps your play sheet complete. You don't have to run the ball. You don't have to throw the ball. Keeping them off balance. We talk about the balance offensively for Bethany. That is when they're most successful, when they're running the ball and passing the ball with the same amount of efficiency.
As the duo of Stees and Cleese, as we like to call it, jogs out onto the field here as Carter and Taylor check in. The give inside to right makes one man miss and will be brought down from behind. A pickup of about 7.
Run by number 1.
Really good run inside there by Raekwon Wright, and as he was brought down by Longtran.
Yeah, and they ran behind their big veteran offensive guard, talking about junior Braylon Sibley, 6 foot, 280 pounds out of McKinney, Texas, in the pride of McKinney High School. And look at what we got here. Is that Clemente Rosales lined up at the wide receiver spot? Looks like a game of Madden out here.
An extra lineman. And
False start, offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. Remains 2nd down.
Yeah, that's an area that they've struggled in this year. The Bison, the most penalized team in the PAC, with 52 penalties against them on the year.
yes, they're going to get Ben Wright there on the false start call, and that'll move the chains back just a little bit here and make it 2nd and 8 from the 29 with 7:30 left here in the first quarter.
They say, don't worry, we'll come back out with it again.
And there's the draw by Basin, and Carnegie Mellon not fooled at all as he will be brought down by a couple Tartans, led by safety, the senior Thomas Polutko.
Yeah, and Bason's going to get his carries. 2nd leading rusher in the PAC, 4.7 yards a pop, 4 touchdowns. Last week ran for 144 yards, so he's going to get his carries.
And it'll be 3rd and 7 from the 40. Jason moving to his left. Will uncork this one deep, looking for Hunter Klein, and that one flutters out of bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down here as the punt unit will come on.
Yeah, that time Hunter Klein never really had a chance. It was a nice job in the secondary by the Tartans as they come out with their 2 deep safety look. And that's interesting because no team this year, to my memory, has gone 2 high safeties against this run-first Bethany Bison offense.
Yeah, Hunter Klein mentioned a week ago, 157 yards and a touchdown. Big week. So he'll receive a little more attention than what he has in the past. And here's a high arcer from Fiasco that will be fielded at about the 23, making a man miss, inside spinning, and finally brought down.
That was a nice job by Keon Thompson making the special teams play.
Keon Thompson, a product out of Newtown High School from Owings Mills, Maryland.
Jake, we have a second here to look around the PAC. Just went final. The game that was on upset alert all afternoon. Case Western ends up squeaking past St. Vincent by a score of 34-26. Waynesburg Grove City has gone final as well as the Wolverines were able to knock off the Waynesburg Yellow Jackets 42-24. So a little scary early on for the top teams in the conference, but they were able to close it out.
Some interesting scores as Daduff gives it inside to Haas. He'll bounce outside, out around the corner. Really good patience, and finally bumped out of bounds.
Are you kidding me? They're going to get Keon Thompson with a late hit on the Carnegie Mellon sideline. But at that time, if you're the Bison, you cannot let him get outside of you. Seeing your defensive end, Chaz Blango, lost contain on that one, tried to chase him from.
Dead ball after the play. Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 25 defense. That's 15 yards to the end of the run. It's first down.
Yeah, I don't like that call.
I don't either, but don't even give the referee a reason to throw that flag. It was questionable. He did make the tackle while he was on the sideline, but just push him out. You know, the thing that the Bison, tend to do, they compound their mistakes. You lose contain, and then you get added 15 yards onto the end of the run. So, got to be sharper.
There's the fake jet sweep give, fighting inside. We'll pick up about 4. I almost wanted to send it to Mike Pereira and ask what he thought about that one there. As that'll bring up 2nd and 7 here from the 37 as we approach the 5:50 mark here in the first quarter. So we've seen a little bit of Luke Bickledge here on this second drive here, as we saw a lot of Chris Haas's. They like to exchange these backs in and out. And 2nd and 7.
So maybe look to bring some pressure here off the edge. Look at Fiasco. They send him. Got there.
Gets out of the sack and will be finally brought down, and the ball is loose. And recovered by the Bison. Daniel Gibson knocked it out.
That is what they do. 4th in the conference, a turnover margin. That is turnover number 18 of the season forced by this Bison defense. It has been a staple ever since defensive coordinator Dave Arnold has taken over. They are turning people over left and right. I think they've registered 1 or more turnovers in every game this season.
And Coach Rich Lackner coming over and letting his offense have it here. Not happy as the Bison offense will run out onto the field and start this drive at their own 36 here. Good back and forth battle here early. There's the give inside to Wright as Wright will slip a tackle and the ball goes flying. And it's recovered by the Tartans.
Are you kidding me? Boy, oh boy, that's got to sting. Sheesh.
Wow.
And I know senior Raekwon Wright is probably killing himself over there on that Bethany sideline.
That ball popped up in the air looking like a low punt.
Yeah, ball security has got to be at a premium here as you see 2 straight turnovers. And Carnegie Mellon, uncharacteristic of them to turn the ball. They come in at a +10 turnover margin. Good for number 1 in the PAC.
As Haas checks back into the game here in the backfield for the Tartans. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 43. The give inside to Haas off the counter and diving ahead as he will pick up 6 And that'll bring up 2nd and 4 here for the Tartans.
Yeah, and I love the misdirection calls here in the running game because this is not a Bison defense that you're going to man up and run straight ahead at. Get these defensive linemen moving one way and cut back another, and you'll have some success here.
2nd and 4 from the 37. And there's the give to Haas inside. Runs over a man and then is met by number 4, Keandre Murphy, as he will be knocked backwards.
By number 5.
But it'll move the chains for a first down.
Yeah, that time Phil Taylor coming as Keandre Murphy leveled the initial boom, but Phil Taylor right there to clean it up. But a nice drive started here by Carnegie Mellon off the turnover as they're getting deeper and deeper into Bison territory.
1st and 10 from the 30 here. Daduff sends a man in motion. There's the give to Haas again and brought down by a combo of Bryce Rohrball and Chaz Blango were both there for no gain.
Yeah, and they need more of that out of this rushing defense. Coming into today, Bethany ranked 8th in the conference in rushing yards allowed per game, giving up 233 yards every game on the ground. It's something that they have harped on and preached gap integrity all week in practice and all season for the most part.
Yeah, as this Bison team here looking for their best defensive performance of the season. Play action, Daduff to the outside and dangerous throw. Almost picked by Keandre Murphy. That would have been 6.
All over it. The young man they like to call Beast, senior captain of this defense, all over it. Read it beautifully and almost had a house call there. That's a dangerous throw by Daduff too, man. You got to know when 4's back there. You can't lollipop it.
Yeah, the first pass attempt I think we've seen here so far, so good job by this Bison secondary, and that'll bring up 3rd and 11 here from the 31.
Play action again. Oh, that's a hold.
And Chaz Blango buries Daduff in the backfield. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, Blango got held on the play as well, but didn't let it affect him. Still was able to bend that corner and absolutely swallow J.D. Daduff. Good night.
Yeah, what a really good defensive outing we've had here in the first quarter.
Yeah, the Bison playing up to their opponent here, man, today. You know, Carnegie Mellon coming in ranked 3rd in the conference. Only 1 loss on the season. Bison have struggled early, but defensively, the last few weeks, they have gotten gradually better each and every week.
As Josh Lyons, Murphy almost getting
What
there.
a kick.
Ball angled out of bounds.
That's a beauty.
We'll see where the official marks this one. And that'll be out at about the 15. And that's where this Bison offense will set up shop here with 2:30 here left here in the first quarter, as nobody has scored yet.
Yeah, it's been pretty even, so far. Both teams feeling each other out. Seeing each team, throw the ball here a few times. But as we mentioned there in the opener, whoever wins the battle in the trenches, talking about the offensive and defensive line, is going to be the most successful team in this one. Both teams want to run the football. Both teams want to use their running game to set up their passing attack as well.
Basin in the backfield by himself.
Ooh!
Makes one man miss, spinning out of a tackle and finally wrapped up and brought down as a penalty marker does fly in.
Number 7, Carlin Basin.
You see why I called him the most electric player in the PAC? Do you see the moves on this man? Good night.
During the run, illegal block in the back, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot. First down.
As they'll nail Raekwon Wright with a block in the back call.
Yeah, not an ideal start for the senior out of Patterson, Maryland. 2 big boo-boos here in this first quarter for Wright.
And that'll bring up a 1st and 15 here from the 10. The give inside to Greg
Look at him go.
who's still churning and still going. What a physical run by Greg Avent.
5'11", 240-pound speed demon. You normally you don't hear a speed demon at that size, but when he gets into the open field, he's a problem.
And Greg Avent a guy that they love to get involved in the running game. Not so much a week ago, only had 6 yards, but did have a touchdown. Basin will fake it to him and get pounded after a gain of maybe 1. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Good job defensively there. Brought down by Skylar Blacker, the junior from Lake Bluff.
Yeah, this Carnegie Mellon rush defense ranked 4th in the PAC right now, giving up 116 yards on the ground per game. And so far, the lanes have not been there for Carlin Basin, but Greg Avett, 5'11", 240, is going to make a lane.
3rd and 3 from the 22. Saladetro checks in, fires over the middle, and it's caught by Carlin Basin. And that'll move the chains for a first down.
Swiss Army knife. Talk about Carlin Basin. He runs it. He throws it. He catches it. What can't number 7 do?
And I think that was his first reception. Second reception.
He had one against in the opener against Ursinus.
Wow. As Basin heads back to the quarterback spot. It'll be a QB sweep to the right here. Nice stiff arm by Basin. And will be forced out of bounds here after a gain of about 8, and that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
You got to love the core strength that he shows to keep balance, knocking off defenders. He's not the biggest guy, listed at 185. Maybe might be that soaking wet, man, but, he's so elusive. And as you see, young offensive line, not as strong as his Tartan front, so they're going to use that zone running attack to let Basin find some lanes.
2nd and 2, the give to the outside to
Look out.
right. Raekwon right out across the 45 and bumped out of bounds at the 40. 19 seconds left here in the first quarter. The Bison are moving.
Yeah, and they're playing their brand of football right now. This is what they want to do. They run the ball for 168 yards per game, include 4 per pop. And getting it on the edges, that's what they want to do. That's where they feel the strength of this football team is, with the speed and the elusive duo of Carlin Basin and Raekwon Wright. Talk about Clees and Stees, as we mentioned.
Oh, absolutely, as the clock runs out, and that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter as we are scoreless here for the first time. Nobody's scoring a point in the first quarter. It's the first time that's happened here at Bison Stadium this season. As the Bison offensively driving and working, we've seen a couple different rushers here today. Carlin Basin been toting the ball most of the time here, as Raekwon Wright has gotten in the mix as well. The combo of Stees and Clees, and Greg Avent with a physical run, making his presence known here pretty early.
Yeah, and the thing I love about Avent, and I think Coach Garvey loves as well, he told me off the record, it's not the first or first, second, third, or even the fourth carry that gets Avent going. Is when you're late in the second half and you're wearing down defenses, and then you got to worry about this big 5'11", 240-pound monster running through the hole. It's not fun for opposing defenses to try to tackle this man. Luckily, sun's out, it's a little warm outside, but wait till it gets later in the season. It gets chilly. No one's going to want to bring him down.
1st and 10 from the 43. Basin by himself. The screen to right. Wright getting upfield, received a good block from Abe Lyles. And that'll be a gain of 4, and that'll bring us to 2nd and 6 from the 40.
Yeah, that's talk about Abe Lyles making that block. That's his specialty. Number 83, the dirty work receiver of this receiving core, can catch the football as well. I'd say he's probably, outside of Hunter Klein, the most reliable hands in the group.
Right to the right. Basin firing over the middle, and what a catch by Abe Lyles.
Right on cue.
Wow.
Right on cue, and that's what he does. Probably the most sure-handed receiver on this football team. And a nice job by Carlin Basin hanging in the pocket. He had some pressure coming right up the middle and stood in there and made a dart of a throw.
Yeah, really good throw by Carlin Basin. Keeps the chains moving. 1st and 10 from the 30 now. Sibley turning around and communicating. There's the give inside to right, and met, and will be buried by this Carnegie Mellon defensive line that we've talked so much about. Skylar Blacker there to bring him down.
Yeah, and Skylar Blacker going to give freshman center Big Joe White his hands full today. Going to have him working. At that time, he was able to get inside of the freshman and make the tackle on Raekwon right before it got too much.
That'll bring up 2nd and 11, was a loss of 1. Salinetro in, and he will fire deep and look for Wright, and that pass is incomplete. And that's going to bring up 3rd down and 11 here.
Yeah, timing looked to be off there between Salinetro and Wright, as Wright didn't even have his head around looking for the football. Salinetro led him just a little too far. That's something I expect them to do, to continue to do, is try to take the top off of this Carnegie Mellon defense.
13:30 left here in the second quarter as Basin waits for the call here. 3rd and 11 from the 31.
As we mentioned, the Bison pretty good on 3rd down, converted at about a 40% clip.
Basin rolling right, making another man miss, diving ahead inside. He'll come up about 2 yards shy, and that's going to bring up 4th down, and Greg Avent motioning to the sideline. Keep us out here.
Man, I'm sure he wants the football too. See what they do here. They're going to elect to keep the reigning PAC Special Teams Player of the Week, Sean Cole, on the sideline, it looks like.
4th and 3 from the 23. And I think that they got him to jump, firing to the end zone. It's not going to matter. A touchdown catch from Hunter Klein.
Doing what he does. Looks like reminiscent of last week. Throw him in traffic, throw him wide open. Hunter Klein's going to come up with a football. And a nice ball by Carlin Basin.
Hey, defense number 1. Penalties declined. Result of the play, touchdown.
And this is what I've been saying for a long time here. Throw it up to Hunter Klein inside the 20 and give that man a chance.
Did you see him high point that thing, though, man? 2 Tartan defenders draped all over him. It doesn't matter for number 19.
What a great catch as Sean Cole comes on here to attempt the extra point. Somebody moved up front here. As the officials will meet here.
See Coach Garvey screaming over from the sideline saying, hey, our center was covered there on that one. That is illegal in Division III college football. So.
False start, offense, 62, 5-yard penalty, try.
So
Yeah,
a
Coach Garvey
false
not happy.
start. False start here is Sean Cole and the special teams unit here, just a little further back. Not too big of a deal here for Sean Cole.
Doesn't matter for Legatron, man. When he puts this darker cleat on the football, it normally goes through and it's blocked. Wow.
Tartan got their paws in there to knock that one away and deflect the extra point, so it'll only register for 6 points for the Bison. So the Tartans catch a little bit of a break with blocking the extra point there as the special teams unit will get set to come on.
Yeah, I want to go back to that 4th down play. Carlin Basin, I think, only gives Hunter Klein that chance because it's 4th down, and he knew that he got the Tartan defender to jump off sides. Free play, essentially, and they definitely capitalized on the Tartan mistake.
Yeah, Hunter Klein high-pointing the football. A really nice catch as he had that big week last week against Geneva. We thought coming in he would receive a little more attention, and he has lived up to the hype as he did a week ago with a really, really good touchdown catch as Sean Cole gets set to kick this one off with 12:49 left here in the first half of play.
Yeah, and if you're the Bison, now that you've got a lead here, second quarter underway, starting to milk some clock here before halftime, this Carnegie Mellon offense not in favor of throwing the football. Look out.
Really good run here, bouncing off a couple tackles and out to the 38. What a great return here by Quinn Gaughan.
He was flying through there. Looked like a missile. That time, Stephon Carter, the slot receiver, making the special teams play.
Yeah, really good job. The special teams, as we've seen, can really impact games.
That's why they call it WeFence over here in Bison Town.
Oh, absolutely. A huge piece of the game that just gets so undervalued here as the Tartan offense comes out onto the field. And we'll see which running back they decide to go with here.
Yeah, J.D. Dayhouse been sacked 2 times already here.
As it'll be Luke Bickledge who will start this one off in the backfield. And he'll fake it to him. There's the screen. Out across midfield and bumped out of bounds for a nice gain ahead, and a good quick screen call as they get it to their sophomore receiver, Ben Armbruster, the 5'9", 160-pound sophomore from Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Yeah, that time looked like a coverage bust from the Bison defense. No way Dave Arnold's scheme is going to allow the flat receiver to be that wide open.
As we approach the 12-minute mark here in the first half of play, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 49 as they have crossed into Bison territory, looking to keep a sustaining drive alive.
I'd like to see them get some more pass rush when Dayhuff goes back to pass too, man.
And they give it to him again, bumped out of bounds, a pickup of about 3. Armbruster on the jet sweep.
Yeah, and you'd like to see these Bison defensive ends set the edge a little bit better. You know, that's 2 times now we've seen them get outside. And that's normally not the strength of these Carnegie Mellon running backs, as Chris Haas is definitely a north and south runner.
Yeah, good job here by Carnegie Mellon here, as this will bring up 2nd and 8 from the 47, was only a 2-yard gain.
Keon Thompson back out there at corner. Got him.
Play action and buried in the backfield as they get to him.
Perfectly timed blitz there by Karan Eggleston, the man who had the game-clinching interception a week ago. And I don't think we've seen many corner blitzes called this season by Coach Arnold's defense, but a nice time there to pull the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, Karan Eggleston did the 100-yard segment with Linnell, coming up with probably his biggest interception that sealed the game against Geneva just a week ago. And this brings up 3rd and 13 as the Death Valley bells ring.
Yeah, 3rd and 13. They slid edge rusher Bryce Rohrbaugh inside. These pass rushers are going to pin their ears back to try to get after Dayhuff.
Looking deep, rolling, batted, and intercepted by Chaz Blango. Batted by Rohrbaugh, and Blango scooping underneath to pick it off.
That's what you expect from one of your seniors on this defensive line. Love the hustle and pursuit there by Blango. Comes around from the opposite side, giving chase to Dayhuff. Gets outside of a ball, gets tipped, and he's able to run right under it for a timely interception.
Yeah, really good job as Chaz Blango, as I'll never forget the conversation I had with Michael Springer, used to be a receiver here for the Bison. Always used to tell me Chaz Blango has rare athletic ability for a defensive lineman. Basin dropping and looking. He will take a shot deep, looking and just outside the outstretched arms of Raekwon Wright.
That a flag that was just thrown?
As we will.
Yeah, Basin took a shot.
Good ball, personal foul, number 61, offense. 15-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And that's got to be something that is probably so frustrating and probably tired of hearing it, probably tired of seeing all the flags getting thrown. As we mentioned, the most penalized team in the conference coming in, and they're doing what they've done all year.
As we approach the 10-minute mark here, 1st and 10 from their own 37. As Ed Hockley, our referee, just kidding again.
Little orbit motion.
And the pitch to right, out around the edge and forced out of bounds. Will only gain 3, and that'll bring up 3rd and really long.
Yeah,
Good down.
Interesting to see what they're going to call on this one. Not many calls on the play sheet designed for 3rd in a West Virginia country mile, Jake Gerber.
I like the metaphor there. Is 3rd and 30 from the 39 here.
You know, I'm a betting man. I say that 40% 3rd down conversion rate goes down.
And there's Basin on the sweep, taking it to the outside, and will be sticked about 6 yards short. Nice gain.
It's going to come back, it looks like. Boy, oh boy. And that really hurts the field position.
Holding, number 34, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 3rd down.
As they're going to get Greg Avent for the hold there. As the offensive line turning and holding their hands up like, what'd we do?
Yeah. Yo, Ole, huh?
As this will make it, I don't even know the yardage at this point.
Let's see if we can count the dashes here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a lot. Third and a lot.
So it'll be from the 32 as we are under the 9:30 mark here, left in the first half of play.
See if they go to the single receiver side. Abe Lyles with a lot of cushion, as they do on the RPO.
And Lyles will just dive ahead as he crosses the 40-yard line out to about the 43, and that's where Anthony Fiasco and the punt unit will come out on.
Yeah, good thing that they were able to get some of the penalty yardage back, as right now it looks like the way both of these defenses are playing, it's going to turn into a battle of field position. And right now I'd say the Bison are winning, and they've got a chance to pin Carnegie Mellon deep in their own territory to start this drive.
This Fiasco, a reliable punter for this Bison team here. Almost blocked.
It's a good one, though. Booming punt.
Armbester on the return here, gets a block, and will be wrapped up and thrown down at the 24-yard line.
Hey, that's great punt coverage, too, by this Bison punt unit. Looked like he had a seam there, but it was quickly filled.
Some fans are yelling some interesting things over here from Carnegie Mellon land.
Some things we can't repeat on television, ladies and gentlemen.
As this will make it 1st and 10 from the 25 here for J.D. Dayhuff. And this offense that have continued to struggle here, as they struggled as well in the first half a week ago against Waynesburg.
Yeah, they haven't been able to run the football the way they've liked to here today. And a lot of it's got to do, they had the turnover. But let's see if they keep things on the ground. They don't. Uh-oh.
Play action, firing to the outside and complete. Still staying up and will be knocked down by Keandre Murphy. So good job by Alex Oshida, the junior, 6'4", 215-pound target from Torrance, California, product of Miracosta.
Yeah, talk about 6'4", growing as big as the trees out there in California, man. That's why they went down there to recruit him. That time, you know, if you notice in all the games so far for Bethany, they do not throw over to number 2's direction a lot. Doing a lot of picking on the sophomore corner, Keon Thompson.
And Chaz Blango and Michael Berry are there to swarm Haas in the backfield and thrown down. And that'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Mike Berry, a guy who's flashed on film the last couple of weeks. His ability to diagnose plays and, you know, get to it early. And he'll admit at the beginning of the season wasn't in the best shape physically. You know, had a difficult, lackluster summer. Wasn't able to get in the best shape he was able to. But now here, as we've reaching closer toward that midpoint, you see his play picking up each and every week.
Physical presence on this defense. Dayhuff, play action, firing to the outside. Arbester makes Fiasco miss and will be forced out of bounds after a gain of about 5, and that'll bring up 3rd and 5 here.
And it was a bugaboo for this Bison defense early in the season. Missed tackles. You know, they play a style of defense. They're not going to let anything behind them. They'll let all that short dink and dunk stuff happen in front of them. They want their DBs and linebackers to come up and make those tackles. I know they can't be too happy with Fiasco after that one.
Yeah, 3rd and 4.
Play he normally makes, too. You know,
absolutely.
Pretty short tackler.
A senior.
Getting a little rowdy here. The herd, as they like to call the Bison faithful.
The money down. Dayhuff, quarterback draw, will take off. And will run out of bounds at the 46 in the Bethany territory, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, that time, nice recognition by Dayhuff. You know, not one that is scared of pulling it down and doing it himself. That time he was able to pick up an all-important 1st down for this Tartan offense.
And that'll make it 1st and 10 from the 46 as we approach the 6-minute mark here in the first half.
Dayhuff coming in, 12 touchdowns thrown through the air. He can run it. He's also a threat to pass it as well. Too much time, in my opinion, man. Boy.
Dayhuff underneath, complete. and throwing a man out of bounds. A physical play right there by Carnegie Mellon
Number 26, Matt Denaki.
as Matt Denaki sheds the tackle there. And that'll bring up 2nd and about 6 here.
Yeah, once again, love the play design. You see, they move the pocket for Dayhuff. You know, they definitely know he's better on the run when throwing the football and playing the Dayhuff strengths.
2nd and 7.
It's looking like they're going to bring heavy pressure here on this 2nd down here. See if they bluff it or they actually go.
Play action. Really good
Dayhuff
ball
again.
movement. Dayhuff in the open field. Dayhuff bumping off of a block. Still going. And all the way down to about the 2-yard line. What a run by Dayhuff. Fooled everyone on the play fake.
Yeah, including some of the Bison defenders. That was not going to look good when you go back and watch the film. Too many guys standing and watching on that one as they're going to hurry up and get back on the football here. And a timeout call.
Timeout.
Boy, oh, boy.
Bethany, they're first.
As we mentioned, Dayhuff, a guy, you know, who's very capable of running the football, coming in 272 yards on the ground, 18-yard touchdown score earlier in the year for his only touchdown on the ground of the season. But you can't be happy with the big play given up there if you're this Bison defense.
No, good play fake. Had everyone fooled on that one as Dayhuff here has gotten it done on the ground with his legs. As this Carnegie Mellon offense is in business, as that Bison take their first timeout of the game here.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, you've seen it here in the 2nd quarter. You know, Dayhuff starting to have some success on the ground. Wasn't the case in the 1st quarter. 4 carries, 4 yards. You know, not much there for him, but things have changed here as we've entered the 2nd quarter. It's 4:44, by the way.
It's a good album. As a little Jay-Z reference. With 4:52 left here in the first half of play. 1st and goal from the 2.
It looks like Bison are in man coverage here on the outside with Dodrick Vickers and Keon Thompson. Dayhuff's going to get on it.
Dayhuff looking for the sneak, and the official comes racing in and says he's down short of the goal line.
First down,
Interesting play call there.
12, JD Dayhuff.
They tried to just say, let's run it behind our big boys. See if we can beat the Bison up front. That time, no siree.
As that'll get us to the 4-minute and just over 30 seconds here left in the first half of play. Knocking on the door is Carnegie Mellon. 2nd and goal from the 2 here.
See if they'll let Dayhuff stay under center on this one. Haven't seen them go under center much today. Matter of fact, it's probably the 2nd time we've seen them go into center. The first one was the previous play. They're going to try it again.
Plunging ahead and finally gets in. And Carnegie Mellon is on the board as Dayhuff on the quarterback sneak.
Yeah, that time tried to get it right in the teeth of this Bison defense. Good push up front by the center and guards for Carnegie Mellon. That time they were able to get on the board for their first points of the game.
That low key is maybe the hardest play in football to stop.
You know, former quarterback, in case no one knows.
Oh, absolutely. Down at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, you run that 4 times. You're bound to get in. It's just one of those things. As that ball was, I believe it was tipped. No good, so we have 2 blocked extra points here this afternoon. What an interesting thing. Is not normal here, as we are tied at 6-6.
Yeah, interesting. I don't think the Bison have any problem with this. They want to keep this game low scoring. And for you guys to watch the pregame show, my 24-18 prediction looks like it may be close to coming to fruition here. A couple more 6s on the board, and we'll be all right.
Yeah, it was. We both had the Bison winning this one here. Thought it'd be a little more high scoring, as it is a defensive battle here coming in. 2 teams that love to run the football, as that's been on display here this afternoon. With 4:15 left to go here in the first half of play, as the Bison gets set to return the kickoff here from Josh Lyons.
See if Bison can get some defense magic going on here.
Lions get set. And he will send this one.
That's returnable for Wright. Uh-oh, good bounce.
And Wright moved out of bounds at about the 45. And that's where the Bison offense will start the drive. 1st and 10 is we will get to see Stees and Cleese.
Yes, we will. Stees and Cleese going to get back on the field. Carlin Basin, nice first quarter rushing the football. 5 carries, 24 yards, averaging just close to his season average of 4.9 a carry. 4.8, you know. Trying to keep things normal. It's number 7, senior out of Gaithersburg, Maryland.
1st and 10 from the 46. There's the give to Wright on the sweep. Gets out around the edge and brought down.
And that play is brought to you by the law firm of Mickens and Avent. Talk about freshman left tackle Tim Mickens and senior running back Greg Avent doing a nice job sealing the edge of this Tartan defense, allowing Wright to get outside and pick up a nice gain on 1st down.
A flag comes in.
All-start offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
And they're going to give Braylon Sibley for a false start. So that'll move them back 5.
I want to talk about self-awareness. As soon as the flag was thrown, Braylon Sibley, no argument, just walks straight back and says, that's my bad.
2nd and 8, the junior leader of this offensive line, and Braylon Sibley. 2nd and 8 from the 48. The quick screen to Lyles, makes one man miss. Lyles turns the corner and will be brought down after a short gain there, as Lyles will limp off. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah, that would be a big loss if he's not able to return to this one, as he quickly limped over to the Bison sideline. That's going to cause a change at the receiver spot as Darius Taylor and Stephon Carter check in. Nice job by Lyles, making the first man miss, able to pick up some yards and make it a manageable 3rd down here for Carlin Basin in this offense.
3rd and 4 from the Carnegie Mellon 48. Basin, nowhere to go.
That was blown up immediately.
As really good job defensively. Longtran, as you mentioned in the pregame, a guy to look out for.
Yeah, that's what he does. I mean, tackles for loss, definitely the specialty of the
Timeout. CMU, they're first.
Coming in this one, 8 tackles for loss on the season for Longtran, 7 sacks. Just doing what he does, man.
Carnegie Mellon burns their first timeout of the half with 2:18 left to play. The Bison facing a 4th and 6 from midfield, as it has been a low-scoring affair here in the first half, as two teams that love to run the football. Neither one's been able to crack the code against each other's defense too much here so far.
Yeah, like we mentioned in the opener, you know, 2 evenly matched teams. Record might not say it. Bison only 2-4. Carnegie Mellon coming in at 5-1. But they play the same style of football. It's going to be about who plays their brand of football the best here today. So you've got a couple injured Bison on the sideline. Junior Braylon Sibley and senior wide receiver Abe Lyles look like they're both nursing lower body injuries. And their returns will be definitely crucial to the success of this offense.
Sibley's had trouble with that ankle in the past, as Fiasco comes out to punt this one away here. And a high arcer.
Another good one. Look at Hunter Klein getting down there on special teams.
And Arm Bester will get to the 25 here, and that's where Carnegie Mellon will set up with 2:08 left here in the first half of play. Looking to put together one final drive here before the half to go into half with the lead.
Yeah, it'll be crucial for them to do so, as they're not built to play from behind. You know, this is a run-first football team. I'd say the same about the Bison as well. 2 run-first football teams. They use their run game to set up the passing game, and Carnegie Mellon specifically, as you've seen the amount of play-action passes, you know, J.D. Dayhuff has got called for him today. He's a rhythm thrower, too, man. You'll hear all the coaches over at Carnegie Mellon say it.
And Dayhuff turns, they give to Bickledge, who's looking for some room, working ahead, and finally moved out of bounds after a gain of about 7, and that'll bring up 2nd and 3 for the Tartans.
That time, good patient running by Bickledge on the zone play to the left. So he was able to patiently wait for that hole to open up, put that foot in the ground, and got upfield for a nice gain.
2nd and 3 here from the 32. They give to Bickledge again, made one man miss, working just to get back to the line of scrimmage here, and that's going to bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, that time the Bison not fooled. Looked like they ran the exact same play. This time
Timeout.
the Bison prepared for it.
Carnegie Mellon, their second.
Interesting timeout there by Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah, they're definitely playing it aggressive here going into the half, trying to double up as they get the football coming out of the halftime locker room. Minute 30 left. They're driving right now trying to pick up a 1st down, and a minute 30 left on this clock. They're going to try to get some form of points, try to double up.
Yeah, if they can't pick up this 1st down, that timeout works in the favor, I think, of the Bison. Is
Definitely.
a minute 30 left here until the half, as Carnegie Mellon facing a 3rd and 3 as the run game, other than that J.D. Dayhuff long quarterback keeper, they've really struggled to find some yards in the rushing lanes here.
Yeah, but they're patient in their rushing attack. They want to wear defenses down just like the Bison do offensively. They're okay with the 3 and 4 yard gains on 1st and 2nd down because it makes it 3rd and manageable for their quarterback, and it keeps the playbook wide open for the offensive coordinator.
As the bells will ring, 3rd and 3 from the 32. Dayhuff in the gun. Haas to the right. The give inside. It is Bickledge. And he works ahead out across the 40 for the 1st down.
Yeah, that time running it right again in the middle of that Bison defense. Looked like they may have caught them off guard, expecting the pass there on 3rd down. Instead, Carnegie Mellon elects to keep it on the ground. Rightfully so, it looks like.
1st and 10 from the 41. As Bickledge will stay on here. Dayhuff looking, firing, a good throw low. And it is complete, as that'll keep the chains rolling here for the Tartans.
You know what Coach Arnold's going to say on that one? Too much time. Any quarterback at this level is going to be able to make that throw when you've got that clean of a pocket and that much time to throw the football.
And it was Alec Oshida again. And there's the play fake to Bickledge.
No pressure.
Dayhuff dumps it underneath Bickledge, and a really good open field tackle by Phil Taylor.
Yeah, Phil Taylor, one of the more short tacklers on this Bison
Timeout.
defense.
Carnegie Mellon, it's their final timeout of the half.
Yeah, that time good patience by the junior quarterback Dayhuff. Didn't have his 1 and 2 receiver open downfield. Elects to go with the check down. Picks up a nice gain.
As they burn their final timeout of the half with 36 seconds remaining here in the 1st half. Carnegie Mellon looking to add and take the lead here, as both extra points were blocked by both teams, which keeps it at 6-6.
And going into the 2nd half, and something to look forward to coming out of halftime, is how the Bison find a way to pressure the quarterback. It has been a struggle for them all year to get after the quarterback. And you'd think that it might come a little bit easier with some of the household names they've got around the conference, talking about Daniel Gibson, 1st team All-PAC performer, Chaz Blango, All-PAC performer. Bryce Rohrbaugh, too, the Mount Union transfer. A guy who's played a lot of big-time football in his career. It was definitely a revelation for them as a situational pass rusher a season ago. Hasn't got off to the same start. High snap, too.
Dayhuff extending, looking for some time. Firing deep and over the head. And incomplete. 26 seconds left to play.
Yeah, that time, dangerous throw from Dayhuff. Didn't really know who he was throwing the football to.
And good job by Dayhuff buying some time. giving himself a chance. And that's going to bring up 3rd and 5 from the 43 here.
Yeah, Dayhuff normally pretty efficient as a passer. 53% completion percentage, 12 touchdowns, 6 INTs on the season. As they're going to let him drop back and throw it here with 26-8 left on the clock. Oh, that's a hold. Oh, my goodness.
Chaz Blango buries him in the backfield.
Is that a fumble? Yes, it is.
And recovered by the Bison with 20 seconds left. So a chance to add some points here. So a disaster for the Tartans here. What a mistake.
What a mistake, but what a play by number 6, Chaz Blango. Got held on the play. Says, get off me, and still able to make the play.
And that's the second time that Chaz Blango has made a sack today.
Early candidate for PAC Defensive Player of the Week. 2 sacks and an interception here in the first half for Chaz Blango.
Yeah,
Getting that all-PAC resume, some beef.
It's almost like he just needs to be kept getting held.
Yeah.
That's some motivation for him. I was almost speechless there for a second.
Good to see here on the injury front. Abe Lyles and Braylon Sibley checking back into the game for the Bison.
Basin looking, firing over the middle, tipped and almost intercepted. A dangerous throw right there by Carlin Basin with 15 seconds left.
And former quarterback here, my broadcast partner Jake Gerber. What's one of the #1 no-nos as a quarterback? High and over the middle.
And late over the middle.
Yeah.
Has definitely not what you want to do there. Don't want to give the opposing team any chance here.
Thought we were going to have a repeat of the last Carnegie Mellon turnover where we gave it right back.
Fires over the middle, and of course, guess who caught it? Hunter Klein.
Yeah, that's big, and that's going to move them into field goal territory. See if Sean Cole will get a stab at another one.
Bethany, their second.
As the Bison will burn their second timeout of the half here, as with 7 seconds left, Sean Cole will get the opportunity to come out here and try and give them the lead.
Reigning PAC Special Teams Player of the Week, the man they call Legatron.
And did have his extra point blocked earlier on after that false start penalty, backing them up 5 yards, getting it deflected, as makes for an interesting field goal attempt here.
And I know Sean Cole's chomping at the bit to get out there and redeem himself after the extra point was blocked. But Jake, with 7.2 seconds here, do you have enough time to maybe line things up perfectly, get on that middle hash, and get a little bit closer for Sean Cole?
I think that this is, you got your timeout. I think that if you're going to do anything, it's a quick rush attempt inside, or just the quarterback just takes it just to position wherever Sean Cole wants it. As the offense is going to stay out here. So we'll see what they decide to do, as the ball is marked here on the right hash. But you can't play around. You got to be careful here with 7 seconds. Got to be ready to call that timeout.
Yeah, and Carlin Basin, one that likes to get very creative, so to speak, when the football's in his hands. No time for that with 7.2 left in the half.
They're going to throw it quick, lofting it deep for Stephon Carter over the head and out of bounds, and time will not run out, so they are going to have a chance.
0.8 seconds?
They stopped the clock a little late. I think it's a little over a second.
That might be the
Timeout. Bethany, it's their final timeout.
might be an angel from above. Bethany Hall of Famer Coach Goring passed away on October 12th at the age of 83. Definitely giving some football blessings down here to the Bison, as they are spared to have 0.8 left on the clock.
Yeah, wow. I mean, 0.8. I don't think I've ever seen that
0.8
on a game clock before. Is the ball is at the 27, so it'll be a 37-yard attempt. Pretty manageable for Sean Cole, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. And more on Bob Goring, class of 59. They're wearing a commemorative sticker on the back of the helmets, number 48, with the last name Goring under it to commemorate the old ball coach here at Bethany College. And Sean Cole's going to get an opportunity here. Little hard count here, maybe?
Maybe draw him off sides, try and get about 5 yards closer. Sean Cole here. The kick is up.
Good.
And it's good. Sean Cole puts that one through, a 37-yard field goal. That will give the Bison a 9-6 lead heading into the half. What a big field goal.
It's huge, man. And like we said earlier, I mean, I talked to him off the record. He's a decent friend of mine. Wants more opportunities, man. As you see how big of a foot he has. And he's built for these big-time moments either, man. Cool as a cat, you know, Sean Cole.
So the Bison take the lead 9-6 as we send it to halftime here. Join us for the second half.
with champagne. Pop. It's my house, come on, turn it up. Hear a knock on the door and the night begins. Cause we've done this before, so you come on in. Make yourself at my home, tell me where you been. Pour yourself something cold, baby, cheers to this. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Morning comes and you know that you wanna stay. Close the blinds, let's pretend that the time has changed. Keep our clothes on the floor, open up champagne. Let's continue tonight, come on, celebrate. That's how we do. Sometimes you gotta stay in, and you know where I live. Yeah, you know what we is. Sometimes you gotta stay in. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my duck off the crib, the spot, the pad. But my house is your house if you throwing it back. Excuse me, it's my home, trading the sand. Soon as these happy faces land, you can run with the cash. Home run, slam dunk, touchdown pass. Me casa es tu casa, so it ain't no holding back. Another shot of vodka, you know what's in my glass. It's my house, just relax. Welcome to my house, baby, take control now. We can't even slow down. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house, play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go out. Welcome to my house. You heard me? We ain't gotta go out, 'cause what? Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. It's my house.
The winning ticket for the 50-50 is 691-866. I repeat, the winning ticket number for the 50-50 is 691-866. You can pick up your prize from the concession stand inside Hummel Fieldhouse.
Reminder fans, the concession stand is open inside Hummel Fieldhouse with cold drinks and snacks to get you through today's game. All proceeds benefit the Bethany College softball team. The Bison softball team thanks you for your support.
First time we get that home, then you cocky. First time we had this blast up like a rocket. I would've had it water on, but I got options. see fugazi. A champion is and make a pay me. Find the cutoff where it's doing pour butter rim. Get the back end at the door and let the dogs kill. Point them out, then turn around, that's how we let them in. There ain't no one conversation, then I switch to sim. They talk like NBA business, I ain't talking scrimmage. You know I'm James Bond with it, Harden with the finish. Shooters got curtain options in it, I don't need a tenant. Just need the option not to see them when I'm riding in it. Used to spend checks on my Nikes, now they pay me. Got some bullshit leaders and they wavy.
welcome back as a minute until we get back to the second half of play here as Bethany leads it 9-6 with a Sean Cole field goal right before time expired in the first half to give them the lead as both extra points were blocked, which is why there was sixes. As Linnell, what are some of the things to take away from that first half that we saw?
Very, very evenly matched first half, and the scoreboard reflects it. Just a three-point ball game. Bethany with the lead. If you look, interesting stat to me, 33 offensive plays ran by both teams. Carnegie Mellon to the tune of 145, Bethany to the tune of 186 yards. But for me, the key and the ace for the Bethany has been senior quarterback Carlin Basin, 7 of 11, 93 yards and a touchdown in that first half. Was extremely efficient, got it going in the run game as well. 8 carries, 35 yards. I look to see a lot more Hunter Klein and Greg Edvett in that second half as well, Jake.
Yes, Hunter Klein, as we mentioned a week ago, had the big week and so far off to a good start here in this one as Sean Cole will send this one deep. And it will be fielded at about the 10-yard line, out across the 20, out across the 25, looking for some room, and bumped out is gone. And that's where J.D. Dayhuff and this Tartan offense will start the half.
Yeah, J.D. Dayhuff, leading rusher in the first half for the Tartans, 10 carries, 36 yards, 3.6 yards per carry. Had the big 42-yard run. Had a couple negative runs in there as well to affect the net yardage, but overall, pretty nice day on the ground. Chris Haas has yet to get going. 7 carries, 19 yards. Expect him to get going in that second half.
As Dayhuff and the offense trot out onto the field, and it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 31, as Haas will be the running back.
Interesting here to see. They're probably going to run the football here, trying to find different ways to do it as they open up in this trips formation.
And there's the give to Haas inside and met in the hole by Michael Berry, who sniffed it out from the get-go. And that'll be no gain. It'll bring up 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, he's had a game, hasn't he? 4 tackles in that first half. Make that now 5 for him after he opens up the second half with 1.
Yeah, Michael Berry, a physical presence in this Bison linebacking core as the Tartan offense 2nd and 10 from the 31. Play action, Dayhuff looking, firing into heavy traffic, and what a catch. And the official will say it hit the ground as Alec Oshida looked to have caught that one, and the official comes flying in saying incomplete, so that'll bring up 3rd down.
Yeah, that was good coverage that time on the back end by the Bison. Dayhuff, initially wanted to take the deep shot, wasn't there, looked at the flat man. They gave him some attention with the linebacker. Then he tried to make the tight window throw in between 2 Bethany defenders, and they were having none of it.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 for the Tartans.
They were 3 of 7 on 3rd down in that first half. Let's see if the Bison can continue to be stingy here defensively.
Dayhuff moving around, trying to buy time, avoids 1 tackle, and gets bumped out of bounds hard by Karan Eggleston and Jermaine Snodgrass. And that'll send out the Tartan punt unit of Josh Lyons.
Yeah, interesting adjustment made by Coach Dave Arnold and this defensive coaching staff. See, they had a spy there on J.D. Dayhuff as he was making them pay in that first half on those broken plays. Pat Mahomes asked the way he was able to get out of harm's way.
As Lyons set his right is back to return this one deep. And a decent punt fielded by Wright and wrapped up and tossed down at about the 28-yard line. And that's where the Bison offense will get their first shot here in the second half.
Yeah, and kudos to that Bison defense. Couldn't have asked for a better start to this second half, forcing a 3 and out, getting the ball back to your offense, who's had a pretty productive day, to say the least, Jake.
Yeah, is this an offense that you think could continue to find success in the passing game here in this half?
I definitely do, as long as they continue to get number 19 and 83 involved. Talking about Hunter Klein and Abe Lyles, they've been the 2 leading receivers for the Bison here today. 3 catches between the 2 of them. 2 seniors that have been in this lineup since their sophomore year, so very experienced.
And there's the gig to give to Greg Avent, who gets out around the edge, and there's some of that speed as he rumbles down to about the 47-yard line for a first down.
For a pickup of about
Ground
18
and
yards.
pound with number 34, Greg Evans. Not every day you see a 5'11", 240-pound back able to get to the outside on a perimeter run like that. And what I love about that run, Jake, the finish. See the way he lowered his shoulder on that Bison sideline, man? Give me goosebumps up here.
Greg Avent, a physical presence for this offense. 1st and 10. The give, Avent again, dragging defenders with him for a pickup of 8, but a penalty marker does
Another
come
run
in
by
here.
number 34, Greg Avent, for a pickup
As
of
our
about
head
8 yards.
referee will give us the call here.
Holding, offense number 61. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat first down.
Yeah, tough day for junior guard Braylon Sibley. That's his 3rd penalty of the afternoon. And comes at an inopportune time as Greg Avent was able to bounce another one to the outside in here. And as we talked about earlier, Coach Garvey said it's not the 3rd, 4th, or 5th carry that gets Greg going. It's those second half touches where you're able to wear a defense down, because after a while you get tired of tackling 5'11", 240 pounds, Jake.
Yeah, and the duo of Tran and Lohmeyer causing some issues for that right side of the Bison offensive line as Dana Reeves and Raekwon Wright check in to the formation with 18 on the play clock.
Yeah, that's a difference I noticed from last week, is the Bison able to get the snap off much earlier in the play clock, because he takes another shot.
Deep and caught by Raekwon Wright. All the way down to the 25.
You want to talk about stees and clees? There it is in full display. Nice throw there from Carlin Basin as he was able to sit back there and drop a bucket of a throw.
Completed for a gain of about
Really
30
good throw
yards.
by Carlin Basin deep to Raekwon Wright, and it gives him 1st and 10 down at the 25.
Yeah, not many DBs in this conference going to be able to run with the man they call Cleese. Talking about Raekwon Wright. An absolute blur is right when he's running in the open field.
Basin will keep it, working inside,
There he
bouncing to
goes.
the outside. Basin out around the edge, getting a block from Lyles and tripped up. And a penalty marker comes in, and I think they're going to get
First down,
Dana
mark on
Reeves
number
for a
7,
hold
Carlin
here.
Mason, for a gain of about 25 yards. There was a flag on
Well,
the
that's
play.
tough. And you saw it on display before the hold on the outside, if they're going to call it. The ability to make people miss. Carlin Basin made 2 guys miss. that
Holding,
one.
number 17 offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
So they get Dana Reeves for the holding call. So it'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. And it'll stay first down as the ball will be marked at the 16.
Yeah, I know Dana Reeves, a receiver who prides himself on his ability to block. That time, giving just a little bit too much effort on that one.
Awaiting the call from the sideline. Play clock hasn't even started, and now it has. Down to the 20-second mark as we are approaching the 11-minute mark in the 3rd quarter, and we have some early movement up front.
False start offense. Number 61. 5-yard penalty remains first down.
And the Bison are starting to shoot themselves in the foot here, so to speak. 2 consecutive penalties.
Yeah, that you just can't have it if you want to be a successful football team in this conference, in any conference in Division III, or at any level for that matter. Get 2 positive gains there to get yourself down here deep in Tartan territory, and now you're moving in the wrong direction.
Be 1st and 6. They give around the edge, Wright looking for some room, and will dive down back at around the line of
First down,
scrimmage, and that'll bring up
Raekwon
3rd
Wright.
down, or
that's
2nd down.
Yeah, that's a nice job by the
No gain on
edge
the play.
defenders there at Carnegie Mellon. Wright tried to get that one to the outside initially as he had Greg Avent there leading the way for him. Just unable to make a decision.
And a late check out by Dana Reeves here. As Dom Salinetro checks in, Basin will be to his left.
Interesting to watch that single receiver side with Klein. Is that Basin on the
And lofting over the top, looking for Carlin Basin, and Coach Garvey screaming
For number 12, Dom.
for a penalty
And
marker,
then
and I
for
think
number
they're going to
7,
get the
Carlin
Tartans for
Basin
pass
with the flag on the
interference.
play.
Well, they're lucky they didn't get Basin there. He threw the football, wanting to, as he was so incensed of the no call, but he ended up getting it, it looks like. It looks like they're going to get a defensive holding.
Second. Holding, defense, number 10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
The Bison crowd loves that one.
As they get the pass interference call or the defensive holding call, Danny Zanister gets called, trying to keep up with Carlin Basin, a tough task.
I'd hold him too. I don't blame Mr. Zanaster there. That's all you can do sometimes is try to give a tug of the jersey when number 7's lined up at the receiver spot.
Salinetro stays in, gives it to Basin, and what a play call! And just
man.
couldn't get it to Salinetro. Wow.
Hey, I love the play call like you just mentioned by Coach Garvey. They ran that one to perfection. And it worked so well because what are these Carnegie Mellon edge rushers doing? They're screaming upfield. A little reverse pivot there by Basin. That time just didn't put enough mustard on it, as he had Salinetro wide open as he would have walked into the end zone.
Almost a Dom Salinetro receiving touchdown.
Wouldn't that
He
be
was
something?
wide open, beautiful play call. Not a soul around Salinetro. He would have walked in.
Yeah, definitely would have there. Plenty of space for the 6'4" sophomore.
Basin looking, patient, throws that one incomplete. And that'll bring up 3rd and 10 from the 11.
Yeah, that time they tried to go to Abe Lyles there working in the slot. But Carnegie Mellon knew that they were trying to go to Abe Lyles as well. Double coverage there. Linebacker and the safety giving number 83 some extra attention.
As here comes Salinetro running back onto the field here with a 3rd and 10.
Yeah, they got to get a touchdown on this drive, you'd have to think, right, Jake? I mean, that's what wins in this league.
Over the middle and caught, and guess who it is? It's Hunter Klein.
Hunter Klein.
3rd down pass.
Mama,
number 12,
there goes
Dom
that man
Salinetro.
again. Number 19 making his presence
Hunter
felt.
Klein For the Bethany
It's a nice job. They added him up at the single receiver side, let him work one-on-one coverage. Ran the end line to the back of the end zone, and Salinetro put a dart on him.
And that's just a dig route there. Hunter Klein creating the separation. Good strong hands for the Bison touchdown.
And he's been on a roll as of late, hasn't he, Jake?
Oh, absolutely. 2 touchdowns here today.
That's how you follow up a 6 for 152 in a touchdown performance a week ago. It's been the Hunter Klein show so far today, Jake.
Or as they like to call him, Hunter Thielen.
Number 19, he's a bad, bad man.
As a 16-6 lead for the Bethany Bison here with 10:05 left to play here in the 3rd quarter. The Hunter Klein touchdown catch, his 2nd of the game with a Sean Cole field goal. Make it 16, a 10-point lead here as this Bison offense is rolling.
And this is where it gets interesting for Rick Lackner and this Carnegie Mellon offense. Like we mentioned earlier, not built to play from behind. Now as we're getting here at about the halfway point soon of the 3rd quarter, down 10 here, you can't continue to hand the football off here. You're going to have to go to the air. They've had some success doing so, but it was because of the balance of the running game. Let's see if they're able to maintain that balance on this ensuing drive.
Yeah, this is a newfound Bison team here, moving the football through the air with the dual quarterback combo of Carlin Basin and Dom Salinetro, which is pretty unusual to see nowadays, is kind of a dual quarterback set with both quarterbacks on the field at the same time.
I'll tell you what, Carlin Basin is a senior, and he embraces it. He wants to win. You know, coming into this season, this team had aspirations of winning the PAC title. You know, they didn't have the start that they wanted to, but they're not letting anybody tell them that their season's over after a 2-4 start.
And a good special teams play by the Bison here.
Kickoff fielded by number 33.
Wrap up.
Sean Cook.
As
Taking
Sean
back to his
Cook
own
will bring this
25
one out to the 24, and that's where Dayhuff and the Tartan offense will start the drive.
Isn't that interesting? Sean kicking to Sean. Talking about Sean Cole to Sean Cook, the SC brothers.
The SCs, as this Carnegie Mellon offense went 3 and out to start the half. So we'll see what they do here as Bickledge will be the back.
See if they give extra attention to Chaz Blengo. 2 sacks and a pick in the first half. Got another one.
And Dayhuff, down he goes. The combo of Chaz Blengo and Daniel Gibson.
2 of the baddest performers on the defensive side in the PAC. 2 former all first team PAC performers. And that time, Chaz Blengo says, come here.
As Liddell grabs my arm. As this will bring up 2nd and 12 here from the 22. Dayhuff in the struggling offense.
As we mentioned, they know they're dropping back to pass at this point.
There's the give on the jet sweep, looking for some room, working inside. Not much of a gain there, maybe 4. And that's going to bring up 3rd down. As Chris Hughes, the sophomore out of Springboro, Ohio, looking for some room. His first touch of the afternoon.
It's getting rowdy here at Bison Stadium. And look for this pass rush to sit and pin their ears back on a 3rd down where you know this Tartan offense is going to the air.
The crowd getting some noise here on a 3rd and 9. Dayhuff.
Stunt run up front.
Firing to the outside. Fiasco all over it and knocks it away incomplete. And that's going to bring up 4th down. Beautiful coverage.
That's how you draw it up. Defensive coordinator, Coach Arnold, going to have to be thrilled when he watches that one on film. Nowhere to go for Dayhuff. Back end covered. Flats covered. Pass rush got there, made him get the ball out of his hands. And now 2 straight 3 and outs for this Tartan offense to start the second half.
A really good job in coverage there by Fiasco. He was sitting on it.
Definitely what I thought he was going to have a pick 6 there, as he almost ran the route for the Tartan receiver.
And here's the punt. And it takes a backwards bounce and then eventually rolls forward. Never know where a football is going to bounce.
Yeah,
and this will be down at the 39.
I think it's got a mind of its own, doesn't it, man?
Number 30,
Definitely took an awkward hop there, as the Bison offense will come out and try and look to add to their lead as they lead by 10 with 8:23 left in the 3rd.
Yeah, you got to think this is time for number 34 to continue to barrel his way through this Carnegie Mellon defense. And he's been rumbling all afternoon, Jake.
Yeah, as this Bethany team here had a competitive game with Carnegie a year ago, and this one no different.
Just some orbit motion.
And there's the pitch to right. Great block around the edge by Avent, and Wright will be ran out of bounds after a pickup of about 2. And that'll bring up 2nd and 8.
Yeah, what's interesting here, I love the setup by Coach Garvey here. They're going to keep going this orbit motion with Raekwon Wright. They've tossed it to him the 2 times that they've sent him in motion now. Expect the next time we see it, they drop back to pass on some play fake.
As here comes Dom Salinetro as he's going to check into the ball game. Basin to his right.
Hey, Blau's a single receiver here. See if they go his way.
Play action, throw into the boundary, complete to guess who?
Hunter Klein.
Hunter Klein for a short gain of about 4, and that'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Hunter Klein.
Yeah, 3rd and 6 here. Wouldn't surprise me if they kept it on the ground here, seeing the tendencies of this Bison offense, but 3rd and 6, you usually go to the air here. Let's see if Carnegie Mellon gives some extra attention to number 19, the man who has shredded them today.
As Raekwon Wright moves out to the slot here, Basin to the right of Salinetro. Dropping, looking, over the middle and complete. And guess who it is again?
To the races.
Hunter Klein. He's off to the races. Hunter Klein's in for another touchdown. His 3rd of the afternoon.
3rd down pass
Mama.
for number 12.
Do I got to finish it, Jake?
Salinetro, number 19,
Hunter Klein, ladies and gentlemen,
touchdown.
putting the PAC on notice.
22-6.
And this is what this Bison offense has in their passing attack. They got the guys at the receiver position. When everything works up front, this could be a dynamic passing game. And Salinetro puts another dart.
And guess who the first guy is to give the handshake out there? Coach Bill Garvey. You know he's excited. As Sean Cole comes out for the extra point attempt, the kick is up, and you bet it's good. And that'll extend the lead to 23-6. The Bethany Bison have taken control of this ball game against the Tartans here with 7:04 left here in the third quarter.
And looking down at this Carnegie Mellon Tartan sideline, lifeless. As the Bison have absolutely stepped on their throat to start this second half, and you've got to be thrilled. Both sides of the ball doing their thing.
And it's just one of those things, it really makes you wonder, is Carnegie Mellon a team that back in week 3 beat W&J in the upset 20-13, and yet Bethany gets blown out by W&J, but they're doing this here today.
Yeah, and this just shows you, any given Saturday, man, these guys were hyped up coming into this one, looking to get their first winning streak of the season here, as they're trying to climb their way back into this PAC conference. After this one, they got a bye, and then they take a trip down to Cleveland to take on Drew Saxton and the Case Western team that's currently first place in the PAC right now, undefeated.
Yeah, tough team in Case Western, but here comes Sean Cole as he gets set to boot this one here with 7:04 left in the third quarter here. As he will send this one deep to Sean Cook. And he will come out and get wrapped up and hit hard and brought down at the 23 by the Bison Special Teams unit.
Yeah, senior Deja Hall has been absolutely all over it on these kickoff returns, man. Coming down and making people pay.
Yeah, Dejor Hall, a guy that's spent a lot of time on the track team, took a few years away from the sport, but he's back for his senior season, and he can fly.
Definitely.
As J.D. Dayhuff, come out onto the field here with 6:55 left here in the third, as they will start from the 25, as this Carnegie Mellon, as you mentioned before, their sideline is just lifeless.
Yeah, right now this offense looks lifeless. They have not had much success since that first quarter where they were able to run the ball with some consistency. And they're all over it, man.
And there is Bryce Rohrball and Daniel Gibson inside
First
to
down rush,
wrap
number 5, Chris
him up and
Haas,
throw him down of
eventually
Haas
tackled by a Stampede of Bison.
for a gain of 3. And that'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Yeah, and the last 2 weeks have been more reminiscent of last year's #1 ranked defense in the PAC, talking about the Bison. You know, they had that 2-game stretch against Washington and Jefferson and Westminster where they gave up over 100 points and 1,000 yards. But they've bounced back tremendously here.
Over the middle, a good throw and catch. Complete. And that'll move the chains out to almost midfield, out to about the 45-yard line here. A good throw by Dayhuff over the middle as he fouled Chris Hughes.
Yeah, that time found the hole in that cover 3 defense that the Bison are so well known for running. Nice job by Dayhuff. That time they were finally able to handle the pass rush up front.
And here's Dayhuff. They give inside to Haas. Haas working and moving ahead here. And that's a good physical run for a gain of about 8. And that's going to bring up 2nd down and 2 as they cross over into Bison territory.
Yeah, Chris Haas, another one of those runners. Later into the game, he really begins to put his stamp on it as he's a tough guy to bring down wide trunks down there. He's a very strong young man.
5:25 left here in the third. Dayhuff to give inside to Haas, and he will dive ahead, and I think that's going to give him the first down, and that'll move the chains as the ref waves them on.
First down after a gain of about 3 yards.
Yeah, nice response here from Carnegie Mellon here. They could have folded it and pinned their ears back and said, hey, this one's over here after going down so big here in the third quarter, but nice drive here beginning to mount. It's the balance, though. You see 2 runs, 3 passes, so.
And there's a flea flicker, but Rohrball coming from behind, and he's going to bring him down.
The Mount Union transfer, not fooled on the flea flicker at all.
After the
Continues to work his way upfield and register his third sack of the season.
Yeah, that's a really big play right there by Bryce Rohrball off the flea flicker, a play that can often create somebody open deep downfield.
Yeah, and the Bison DBs weren't fooled at all either. You know, it was a reason, Dayhuff had to hold that football a little longer than he wanted to. Sticky coverage on the back end.
And that'll bring up 2nd and 20 from the 47 as we approach the 4-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to keep harping on it, but this has been one heck of a performance by this Bison defense. They look to be playing a little game up front.
Dayhuff dumps it off the Haas on the screen. Taylor tripped him up, and he will be finished off at around midfield.
Yeah, nice pursuit there by Jermaine Snodgrass and Muhammad Ilola. Specifically from Ilola coming from that opposite defensive end spot.
I had to check the roster there. I almost thought it was Khalid Pierce for a second there. I haven't seen that 99 in a while.
Khalid Pierce, second all-time leading sack leader in Bethany Bison history. Be proud the way Ilola's wearing that number 99 jersey. 3rd and long. Expect this pass rush to pin their ears back and get home.
Dayhuff looking. Got him! Hold on, and down he goes. The combo of Chaz Plago and Daniel Gibson, and it's 4th down.
In the 3rd down
They have been all over
sacked by number 5,
this Carnegie Mellon passing attack.
Number 6, Chaz Blongo.
It was that first quarter. It's like that must have hurt me
long.
up there. I'm saying, gosh, you're not getting no
And a
pass rush. You're not getting any pass rush. It's been lights out ever since, Jake.
Absolutely. Had Dayhuff not even a chance as they get to the backfield in a hurry. And Lions and the punt unit will come on for the Tartans as Raekwon Wright is deep to return.
Yeah, don't expect this Bison offense to take their foot off the gas here either. It's a nice punt.
And Wright will let this one roll out of bounds here. That's a good roll, as that'll be marked at the 14-yard line.
After a friendly bounce,
and that's where the Bison offense will start their drive from the 14.
Yeah, it's been smooth sailings here in this second half for this Bison offense and defense. Specifically this defense, though, Jake. I mean, they've heard the whispers around campus and around the PAC media. This defense not the same as last year's #1 group. They're missing some horses. Just took them a little while to get going here. The last 2 weeks, they have been absolutely stellar.
As the offense trots out onto the field here, Hunter Klein with a huge game here, to say the least. As Aved to the left of Basin, right in the slot. Basin will keep it on the sweeper, and he'll get out around the edge here.
And a late flag coming, and that looks like the referee might have been influenced by this Carnegie Mellon sideline. All you heard was hold,
Number 72.
And I'm just going to say here to the defense of freshman left tackle Tim Mickens, that wasn't a hold.
And
He let go.
penalty.
Questionable call there.
Listen to the goal. Repeat first down.
Yeah, he definitely got his hands off there. So
Yeah, a little bit, as you mentioned, the influence there.
yeah, but that sideline, when you hear hold as a ref, you're going to think, oh, maybe I should throw the flag.
As a whole different formation comes in here, as Carter and Taylor and Daniel Thomas all check into the ball game here. Hunter Klein at the top of your screen, as they're going to keep a safety more towards his side for a little bit of help. And Basin sheds the tackle to avoid a safety, spinning and twisting after a gain of about 4.
Yeah, that time, good play design, the way it's drawn up.
Basin.
Not normally, not every time do you see an offense run away from the side of the trips. That time the Bison line up the trips on the left side of the formation and send Basin the opposite way and say, uh-oh, we pulled your chain. As I pulled Jake's chain here in the studio.
A good play call here, as Coach Garvey's had some nice calls, especially that almost touchdown, the Dom Salinetro.
How much fun do you think he has calling plays when number 7's at the helm?
And a flag comes flying in, and it's going to be a hold against the Bison.
So we'll wait to see the guilty party here. Penalties haven't killed the Bison here today as they've been able to overcome them.
Which is always a good day.
Holding. It's number 61. Just complete second down.
Boy, Braylon Sibley, one of the better guards in the PAC, but he's having a rough day today. I believe that's his 5th recorded penalty called against the junior out of McKinney.
As Longtran and Meyer have definitely contributed to that. To give inside to Avent, who will work his way ahead. And that'll bring up 3rd and about 17. Ball at the 6.
Yeah, we haven't heard much out of that trio. Talk about Long, Lomir, and the kid Tran. As we mentioned, combined, coming in between the 3 of them. 24.5 tackles for loss, 17 sacks. Not today, though, as this young offensive line has definitely accepted the challenge.
There's the give inside. Avent looking for some room, keeping his legs churning. A helmet pops off, and that'll bring up 4th down, so a safer play call. Oh, thought the official had something to
Third down
say
run
something
by
there,
number
but
34.
He's always got something to say, doesn't he?
Rolling in a 4th and
30
long for the
seconds
Bison.
left in the 3rd quarter and moving here. As Anthony Fiasco and the punt unit await, but I think that they're going to let the 3rd quarter run out as the Bethany Bison are leading this one 23-6. And what a performance by this Bison defense.
Yeah, it's been stellar. They have made J.D. Dayhuff's second half a nightmare. 2 3 and outs for this Carnegie Mellon offense coming out. It hasn't looked too good. But a lot of time left. Got a whole quarter to come back from 17 down. But I definitely expect this Bethany pass rush to only get stronger as we get deeper into this 4th quarter.
Yeah, as this Tartan offense has just not found its groove. A team likes to run the football 275 yards a week ago, only 21 through the air. They definitely have not lived up to what they've been doing productivity-wise on the ground that they have a week ago, and it definitely has not translated into points, as this Bison defense has done a really, really good job against the run and cracking down when they get into Bison territory.
Yeah, Chris Haas has been quiet as well, coming in 7th leading rusher in the PAC with just over 380 yards on the season, 2 touchdowns, a guy who averages 4.3 a carry. Haven't heard his name called too much here, in a positive manner at least. As we've said it as he's been tackled in the backfield a couple of times. This Bison defensive front has been absolutely nasty.
Yeah, as this Bison front, as you mentioned, Chaz Blango.
What a day. I mean, I'm calling it right now. It's probably going to be PAC Defensive Player of the Week. 3.5 sacks, an interception. Career day here for the kid out of Mount Lebanon.
As Anthony Fiasco will punt from his own end zone here.
Always dangerous plays like this. You know Carnegie Mellon going to come after this one.
And he barely gets this one away, and it takes a bounce, and it'll be out at the 40. And Carnegie Mellon will start with excellent field position, the best starting field position they've had all game.
Yeah, they're going to need it because right now it's been poor offensively here so far in the second half for them. We got a young lady in the stands here with a leaf collection. She's lining them up and counting them. That's been more entertaining than watching this Carnegie Mellon offense so far, Jake. I mean, it's been brutal.
Yeah, they've struggled up front here. They've struggled up front here as Dayhuff awaits here as the officials are having some issues with the footballs. No, we want this one.
I don't think it's the ball, Jake. I think it has a lot to do with the combination of number 6 and number 5 wreaking havoc.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Gibson and Blango have been all over it today as Dayhuff will take the snap rolling to his right with Rohrball in his face and fires and complete and still on his feet and working ahead is Alec Oshida, and that'll move the chains for a 1st down.
First down
And that's
pass
been the
number-
strength of Dayhuff,
number 12,
here in this
Dayhuff.
contest at least.
Both in
When
the
they're able to
first
move him
down.
outside the pocket, he's had much more success as a thrower. And it really makes it more difficult for this Bison pass rush to get after him when he's not a sitting duck. Or a sitting tartan, excuse me. You ever heard of seen a tartan dog? I think it's a dog, Jake.
It is. It almost looks like a giant schnauzer. As there's the play action. Dayhoff on the move. He's going to keep this one. Dayhoff working towards the sideline, and will be forced out of bounds. Good run by Dayhoff.
First down run by number 12.
Yeah, that time,
Dayhoff
number 92,
for a
Bryce
gain
Rohrball
of
sucked
about 6
inside off the
yards.
play fake. Trying to make a tackle in the backfield, and Dayhoff says, uh-oh, I'm out of here.
As this Bethany secondary has also had a pretty nice game for themselves as well.
Yeah, last week, they got the top taken off a couple times against Geneva, a team who's not known for passing the football. I think they've made it a point of emphasis here today is good gracious.
And buried in the backfield by Bryce Rohrball and Mike Berry. And that's going to bring up third and really long.
Second down pass.
Yeah, Bryce Rohrball says,
Quarterback
okay, you
number
got me on the
12.
last play. You got outside of me. This time, I'm going to win the battle.
As we approach 13:30 here, left to play in the ball game. And it'll be 3rd and 10 from the 29. And I think it's 4-down territory from here on out for Carnegie.
Oh, definitely. And they're going to need all 4 of them. Because this offense, as we mentioned, it has been a struggle for them in the second half, and that has a lot to do with the games being played up front. Talking about the stunts ran by Bethany on the defensive line here as they've gotten home.
And firing deep, looking for the end zone, and good position by Eggleston. And the Tartans are wanting a penalty flag, and they're not going to get it.
Not at all. One of the best corners in this conference. Doesn't get tested much for a reason. And normally when he does get thrown at, it looks just like that. Over the head, blanketed coverage.
As that's going to bring up 4th and 10 from the 29 here. As we got some flies up here, and I think Linnell got it. The quickness.
Yeah, that's what I do in my free time. Swat flies.
The quickness with the water bottle is 4th and 10 from the 29.
Look out, Blengo.
Over the middle, a good throw by Dayhoff and cracked by Keandre Murphy.
And that's what he does. I mean, touted is probably the hardest hitting safety in this conference, coming up and laying the boom.
Over the middle, leaves his receiver wide open.
That's the Carnegie Mellon receiver going to need some medical attention after the shot he took from Murphy. But you mentioned again, you saw it. I mean, we didn't mention it, verbally, but Chaz Blengo, I mean, every time on 3rd down when he's trying to turn that corner, he's getting held. And he almost got the Dayhoff again for sack number 4.
Yeah, he's done a really good job here this afternoon as Arbister is down after he took a shot. It's a good catch over the middle.
Yeah, it definitely was.
In traffic.
They always like to say, man, if you're going to take the hit anyway, you might as well catch it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. As he will jog off under his own power.
While we have a second here, look around some of the scores of the PAC. Case Western able to go down to Latrobe and beat St. Vincent 34-26. Westminster put it on Teal down in Greenville by a score of 55-7. Grove City 42-24 over Waynesburg. And the game I'm interested in seeing tonight, Geneva hosting Washington and Jefferson here, a matchup of 2 teams battling for PAC playoff positioning.
Oh, and they're going to get Keon Thompson for pass interference here for a defensive holding call.
Yeah, Thompson's had an up-and-down sophomore campaign after starting the final 4 games of the season as a freshman and played pretty well there on the opposite side.
Line.
Of
Pass
Eggleston.
interference, number 25 defense. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
That's how you get your offense kick-started, huh, Jake?
Yeah, and so these Carnegie fans are liking this call here. A little bit of jolting back and forth with the Bison.
They don't like anything going on here in Bison Stadium right now.
With 12:34 left to play here in the ball game, Carnegie knocking on the door. Ball at the 2, first down and goal.
Think this goes to Haas?
That's Bickledge inside, turning, and he's in. Luke Bickledge finding the end zone. to add to their score here.
After the pass interference, a rush by number 3, Luke Bickledge.
Yeah,
for
Bickledge,
a
touchdown number 4 on the
Bethany
season
still leads 23-12.
for Mr. Bickledge. He's been playing behind Chris Haas the last couple years. Bickledge, a junior, probably the odds-on favorite to take over that running back spot next season for the Tartans.
As Lyons puts that one through, and that makes this a 23-13 ball game with 12:27 left to play here in the ball game. So it cuts the lead down to 10.
Yeah, it definitely does. Last year, Carnegie Mellon beat Bethany 17-14, and the Tartans have won 10 of 11 against these Bethany Bison. But Saturday, October the 19th, 2020, looks like we're going to see a Bethany victory here if they're able to keep this one up.
As Linnell a year ahead of us at 2020.
Oh, man, it's 2019.
It's 2019. As
And this offense is looking futuristic, isn't it, man?
oh, absolutely. It's a good catch right there, partner. That's good. As
You know what it is? I haven't heard jump around yet.
that's what it is. Do we have, as for the viewers that have not experienced that, it's a great time as jump around comes on, and my broadcast partner likes to move around to the playing, and as Carnegie Mellon gets set here, and Lions will boot this one deep here to right, and Wright will bring this one out following the blocks and wrapped up at the 20. And Carnegie Mellon looks to have found a new life here.
Number 1, Raekwon
Yeah, they've got
Wright,
some time
who
here.
tackled at the 20
So I expect, less possession. Bison backed up deep in their own territory. Couldn't really do much and get too creative there. Backed up in your own end zone from a play calling standpoint. But 2-possession game with 12:20 left. Look for them to maybe go back to the air here a little bit.
Yeah, and if I'm the Bison, I want to keep my foot on the gas pedal here. As the offense will jog out onto the field here. Raekwon Wright will line up in the slot. Hunter Klein at the top of your screen. Basin the give. Avent bouncing outside, rumbling ahead for a gain of 5, and that'll bring up 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's a good idea to get the chains moving and get your offense moving. Give it to big number 34, who is accustomed to wearing down defenses in the fourth quarter.
2nd and 4 from the 26 as we are under the 12-minute mark left in the ball game.
Yeah, and if I'm head coach Bill Garvey, I'm telling Carlin Basin, hey, let's work some clock here a little bit. 14 on the play clock. Let's get a little lower before we snap the football.
There's the give to Raekwon Wright. Nowhere to go. It's going to be a loss of 3, and that's going to bring up 3rd and long.
And now you're putting yourself in a tough spot here. Predictable passing down here is 3rd and medium.
Bring it to a 3rd
And this
long.
Tartan sideline and crowd starting to get back into it for him. There's only a 10-point game here.
You got to be careful here on 3rd down from your own 22. Play clock down to 15.
If I was a betting man, I think they try to get it in the hands of Hunter Klein here on a 3rd down.
He's receiving some extra attention. Firing way too high. Incomplete, looking for Stephon Carter. Good blanketed coverage by Carnegie Mellon, and that's going to bring up 4th down.
Yeah, interesting play call there. Not often do you see a rollout to the short side of the football field, Jake.
As Hunter Klein maybe trying to draw him away from that double coverage. As 10:52 left here in the ball game.
We're still laughing about 2020 here, man.
And Fiasco, a high arcing punt to Arbester, gets away from Klein, makes a man miss, and then brought down by Colton Stoneman. A good open field tackle by him. Good special teams play for the freshman.
Yeah, let's see if J.D. Dayhuff and this offense can get going here. They were able to convert a touchdown on their last time on the field here. 10-point lead. Plenty of time here, too, if you're the Tartans. 10:38. You don't have to go to the air here. They can keep it on the ground and play their traditional style of football with Haas and Beklich.
And here's Dayhuff. Moving Rohrball in the face, gets it to Oshida. And we had a ball call there.
First down pass from number 12.
Doesn't surprise
JD
me.
Dayhuff to number 9.
It's like we mentioned,
Alex
this Bison
Oshida
defense,
for a gain of
that is
about
what they
4
do. They
yards.
turn you over. They're a fast, physical group that loves to hit. And they fly around.
It'll bring up 2nd and 6 from the 49. Play clock, plenty of time. Dayhuff, play action. Throws it to the outside, complete. A spin and brought down, working ahead. And this will be close. Depend on the spot here.
Looks like they're going to mark him shy. Looked like a little bit of a mix-up in coverage there between senior Anthony Fiasco and sophomore Keon Thompson, looking back at each other after the completion.
As they sneak it ahead, and that'll move the Shades for a first down
3rd and short
for the Tartans as the official waves them on.
QB
as
sneaks for a first down.
We reach the 9:30 mark. As in college football, the play clock does stop until the Shades get reset.
Interesting to see here if you're Carnegie Mellon. Can you afford to keep the ball on the ground here, as we've seen them come out and throw the ball here?
Play action in the backfield quick. Nowhere to go for Dayhuff. Just looking to survive and brought down for a loss, and they'll credit it a sack.
12, JD Dayhuff.
Brought down by Michael Berry and a couple other Bison.
Yeah, first man there on the scene, though, was Daniel Gibson, as he absolutely wrecked that play for Carnegie Mellon and made Dayhuff duck underneath of him. And after that, a host of Bison in his face, as you mentioned.
Under 8:40 left. And Carnegie Mellon
Timeout.
will burn its
Carnegie Mellon.
first
First.
timeout. As they will burn its first timeout of the half with 8:34 left to play. A 2nd and 11 from the 45 of Bison territory as they trail 23-13.
Yeah, it's been a much better fourth quarter than third quarter for the Tartans. So we're able to punch one into the end zone and get going here. Interestingly enough, though, Jake, not an offense, talking about Carnegie Mellon, that likes to throw the football. So we mentioned just 21 passing yards last week. They've had some success through the air here today, and it's happening when they're moving J.D. Dayhuff out of the pocket.
Yes. Reminded me to a week ago against Geneva when he asked the Geneva coach, "You got to throw the football?" No, no.
Honest answer. I didn't get to go down and talk to Coach Lackner before the game today, because he was in the zone, man. A guy who's been around the block here in the PAC. Over 300 career games coached for Rick Lackner.
2nd and 11. Dayhuff.
Screen coming.
The screen tipped and almost could have been intercepted. It's going to bring up 3rd and 11.
Chaz Blengo has had his fingerprints all over this football game. That time you saw the Carnegie Mellon offensive lineman in retreat mode, letting that pass rush get upfield as they tried to get the sneak over their head, and Blengo, the athletic player he is, as you mentioned, was able to get one of those big mitts on it and force an incompletion here.
As 3rd and 11 from the 45. Maybe the biggest third down so far.
Definitely, and as you mentioned, they're probably in 4-down territory here still with 8:28 left to go here, but I know they want to pick up this one. Blengo again.
Got him! Down he goes! Chaz Blengo gets there again. And are they calling it a fumble?
It was a fumble.
Sacked by
It's
number
Bison
6,
football.
Chad Blongo. But number 5, Daniel Gibson, recovers the fumble.
And this defense is just turned loose.
What a day for number 6. 4.5 sacks, pass deflection, interception, and a fumble force for the senior out of Mount Lebanon High School.
What a game it has been for this Bison front.
Yeah, it has. They're getting after it. As we mentioned, coming in, the numbers, they didn't suggest that this was a good pass rush, but we're seeing otherwise here today, Jake.
As Basin, quarterback keeper to the left, will dive ahead for 2, and that'll bring up second
First
down.
rush
Yeah,
by
expect
number
them to
7,
start working
Colin
some
Basin,
clock here.
with a gain of about 1 yard.
8:12 and counting left to go here. Firm lead as they're up 10, 2-possession game here.
I'm Coach Garvey. I'm telling my offense, we're not running this play until there's a couple seconds left on that play clock.
Yeah, you got to start to milk the clock here a little bit, but you know, traditionally that's not the style that they play. They play with a lot of tempo. As you notice, they don't huddle.
Yeah, that's became a common thing in football now. Is Avent to the right of Basin. It'll be an option quarterback keeper, and he gets thrown down, and he got popped as he is slow to get up here as he took a shot on the play from outside linebacker Obi Nieto, the sophomore, 6 foot, 185 pounds from Morristown, New Jersey, product of Pingree School.
Yeah, Jersey strong on that one as he put a shot on Carlin Basin, and he's slow to get up.
And that's one of those hits that you just don't want to see your quarterback taking.
Yeah, especially at this juncture in the football game when you've got a clear, firm lead here. Don't get too cute with it. Let's just give the ball to 34 and get out of here.
Yeah, we're at the 6:50 mark. Play clock got all the way down the 1. Avent working ahead. Maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage here as we approach the 6:30 mark. As we'll see what Coach Garvey decides to do here. If I'm Coach Garvey, I'm punting this football and letting your defense control this game as they have. And here comes Fiasco and the punt unit.
Yeah, give it back to J.D. Dayhuff and the starting offense and make them beat you, which they've shown so far to this point they have not been able to do so, as they have struggled offensively in this second half. And ever since that first quarter, in all honesty, I mean, it's been slim pickings for the yards here for Carnegie Mellon.
And Fiasco just does get this one away, and it takes a high, good bounce, and it'll be down at the 22-yard line.
From number 3, Anthony Fiasco.
So a good
is
job
down at
by the
target's
Bison
20-yard
here
line.
as 5:54 left to play. Ball will be at the 20, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Tartans as they trail by 10.
Man, expect them to go to the air here. You know, with Dayhuff. Now, you definitely need points on this drive, no matter how it comes. If it's a field goal, if it's a touchdown, you got to get points here. 2-possession game here, but time is a ticking.
Looking, firing deep. They test Eggleston, and incomplete. Looking for the big
down pass
6'4
for number
target,
12,
Alec
J.D.
Oshita, incomplete.
Dayhuff.
It doesn't matter
Taken
how
out by
big
number
or how
2,
fast you
Corin
are. Number
Eggleston.
2, Karan Eggleston, runs step for step with any receiver in this conference and has proven it all year long, as he was right there. That's just beautiful cover. You cannot draw that up any better.
Yeah, the senior from Baltimore, Maryland, out of St. Francis Academy. Just got a win over IMG
That was a big high school football game.
last night. A huge game. St. Francis has turned into a powerhouse.
Boy,
As
Blingo held again.
he's held again, and he puts a shot on Dayhuff as Dayhuff just throws this one away. And Blango looks to be a little banged up over there. As we'll see what the penalty marker is here. As you mentioned, holding call.
I mean, he is absolutely wearing that tackle out. I mean, Bram Miller and Jimmy Nguyen got their hands full here, man, because Blango's such a good speed rusher. I mean, you mentioned the athleticism, and he doesn't look like.
Holding, number 70 offense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
That time they're going to get Nguyen on the hold against Blango.
As Chaz Blango reminding me of a former Raven that's now in Green Bay, Darius Smith, with applying that pressure off the edge.
What I love about Blango, last week, 11 tackles for him, doing it in the run game as well. Well-versed pass rusher and defensive end is Charles Blango.
3rd and 10. Dayhuff on the move. Looking, bumped out of bounds.
Are you kidding me?
And here comes a late flag. It's going to be a late hit out of bounds.
Automatic first down.
Looks like the medical staff attending
Turn your mic on, ref.
to Charles Blango. He was shaken up on the previous play and still needing some attention.
As we have an injury timeout here, as they do it on CBS. Let's head to JB in New York. As hopefully Chaz Blango's okay here, as the Tartans catch a break there on the personal foul late hit out of bounds. Again, the second time that's been called here today, where it's been close, but just don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. You know, 3rd down, you want to get off the field, get your offense the football back. It's good to see Chaz Blango get up, because he's going to need some assistance getting over to the Bethany sideline.
As he will get a little bit of assistance here as Coach Bill Garvey will come over to check on him here, as it'll be 1st and 10 from their own 44.
Going to bring in senior Jake Nace to replace the injured Charles Blango. Interesting story on Nace. Before this season, he's a senior, I mentioned. All 3 years spent as a linebacker, recently made the switch to defensive end about a couple weeks ago, and he's seeing some early action.
And there he comes firing off the edge, and Daniel Gibson diving.
You ever seen a big man dive like that? Holy cannoli.
That's a little bit of a scary sight, turning around and seeing that as
The screen pass
a
was
big man
completed.
diving ahead there to bring him
It was
down.
Eventually tackled by number 5.
And that's what you love, though. That's just an effort play, you know, from Daniel Gibson, chasing down the play from the backside on the screen. It's what you coach him up to do. This defense today following behind his lead, playing hard.
Dayhuff looking, firing deep to the outside, high but complete. As Dayhuff pumps his fist there on a big 3rd down completion
Pass was completed
with
by number
4:46
12
left
for a gain of about
in the ball
15
game,
yards.
trailing by 10.
Yeah, that time a good route ran by the outside receiver for Carnegie Mellon. They took the shot a couple plays ago at Eggleston. That time got Eggleston running, put the brakes on, and was able to get a completion.
Dayhuff. Quarterback draw. Running ahead, still going. Getting a block by Beckledge, and he made a man miss. And he's in for the Carnegie Mellon Tartan touchdown.
A long
Two
touchdown
big
run by number 12,
J.D. Dayhuff
J.D.
runs here
Dayhuff.
in this ball
Playing the
game. Is
score
that
at
time this
23-19
scramble drill?
to Bethany
It's a nice job, though,
leading.
by the receivers plastering the defensive backs once they realized their quarterback was going to take it out, pull out the do-it-yourself kit and run it in himself.
Yes. 23-19, looking to make it 23-20 with 4:16 left here in the ball game. And that one is no good.
Daniel Gibson applying the pressure in the middle.
As it stays 23-19.
That's huge.
As
With the
this
missed
Bison
extra
team
point,
has
the Bison still
offensively
lead by 4
hasn't
points.
done much, as they're going to look to try and hold on to that lead, Linnell.
Yeah, definitely so. And like we mentioned, can't get complacent offensively. Got to stay aggressive, continue to attack this starting defense. That's a huge special teams play, man. They like to call it we fence around here in Bison Country. And they've made play after play here today, whether it was on the kickoff unit or Sean Cole drilling the big one before half.
Yeah, really good job as Zach Shirk, the junior from New Albany, Ohio, a product of New Albany, will come out to kick this one deep. 4:16 left to play. The Bison hold a 4-point lead. And this kick is deep and fielded by Raekwon Wright. And it's now, as they like to call it, crunch time, Linnell.
Kickoff fielded by
Yeah,
number
definitely
1,
is. And
Raekwon Wright.
Bison got some
Take it
big
to
crunch
the
time
Bethany
performers
25-yard line.
on this offense. Hunter Klein has been the leader for them offensively today with 2 big touchdowns, building off of his 6-catch, 152-yard performance last week. And 3 big touchdowns, for Hunter Klein. Lose count of him after a while, scores so much.
4:09 left. This drive will start at the 25. Play clock down to 6. And Basin will keep it. Nowhere to go. As this offense has gotten pretty
First down
conservative.
rush by number 7, Carlin Basin.
Yeah.
For a gain of 0 yards.
I'd be surprised if Greg Evan doesn't touch the football here on this drive, man. You're trying to work some clock here and want to stay aggressive at the same time. And Evan has been absolutely steamrolling people. So he's had a day from a yards per carry standpoint. Feels like he's getting 4 and 5 every time he touches it.
And Basin, quarterback keeper, on the move. He reverses field. He's going to get out around the edge, but will be bumped out of bounds, and I don't know why he ran out of bounds.
Yeah, it's questionable decision-making there by number 7 here. And as we mentioned, I mean, the conservative play calling here, since they've got the lead, it's been a little questionable.
And Dom Salinetro checks into the ball game. As we see here some screams, why is the clock running?
Salinetro. Deep
Firing
ball.
deep, looking for Klein, and deflected, incomplete. A big play.
Yeah, that time they tried to go to the man that's had success all afternoon, and Hunter Klein. That time just off the fingertips, as they had double coverage on Klein that time.
As that brings up 4th and 12 from the 23. Anthony Fiasco will come in to punt this football away, as Carnegie will get an opportunity to try and take the lead here.
Yeah, now after your defense is able to get a 3 and out, that missed PAT try definitely is looming large here.
Armbester made a man miss and gets tripped up.
The punt from
Good open field tackle by
Anthony
Greg
Fiasco
Avent,
was fielded by number
getting some
82,
special
Ben
teams
Armbester,
play
and taken
as
to
this
the
Bison
Bethany
defense trots out
47-yard
onto the
line.
field here. J.D. Dayhuff and this Tartan offense.
Yeah, interestingly enough, no Charles Blango on this last possession, and this all-important possession right here, as Jake Nace still in at the defensive end spot.
Dayhuff fires to the sideline. Oshida bumped
First
out of
down pass
bounds.
for number 12, J.D. Dayhoff, completed to number 9, Alec Oshida, for a gain of about 5 yards.
And the clock continues to move here. 2nd and 3 from the 39. Dayhuff, the give, Haas around the edge, nowhere to go, and bumped out of bounds. And here comes 3rd
Rush on second
down.
down, number 5.
And that time you saw it again. The big man, number 5, flashing through the middle of that Tartan defense, making Chris Haas bounce that one outside. Not initially where the play was designed to go, it looked like.
As the bells sound here.
Yeah, late substitution here as well for the Tartans.
Play action.
Rush coming.
Dayhuff looking. He's going to run it. Dayhuff going to be tripped up. And it's going to be 4th down, I think. It's going to depend on the spot.
Yeah, interestingly enough, no hold called there on number 92. Bryce Rohrbaugh was held as Dayhuff broke containment in the pocket.
Oh, this just gives chills here. 1:32 left. 4th and 1 from the 41-yard line.
Odds tell here in this one, they're going to put J.D. Dayhuff under center and try to let him keep it himself here. Muhammad Alola and Daniel Gibson in the teeth of this Bison defense at tackle. See if they go hard count here.
Game on the line. And a timeout.
Timeout. Carnegie Mellon, their second.
And that would have been a 1st down. That was there. As that would have been a 1st down and a timeout called by the Tartans with 1:29 left to play here in the ball game.
It was 1:30. 1:30 on the clock. 1:30.
Man, oh man.
With 1:29 left, 4th and 1, the biggest play of the game right here, Linnell.
Yeah, I think if I know this Tartan offense well enough, they're going to try to keep this one on the ground here. Whether it's Dayhuff, Haas, or Bick Lodge, you know, they've had some success running the football here up the middle.
As the team's huddle burning a wise timeout here. As they have 1 remaining. The Bison still have all 3 of theirs as we await the biggest play of the afternoon here, now into the evening. 4th and 1. Dayhuff out of the pistol.
Interesting, they're going with the spread look here. Try to spread this defense out before running it.
The give inside and still moving ahead. 1st down, Tartans.
4th down rush.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Buklage. Just enough for a 1st down.
As
This gives the Tartans a new set of downs to work with.
They got to punch this one into the end zone due to the missed PAT on the last score that would have made it a 3-point ball game here. Looming large right now. See if the Bison bring some pressure. They
play
do.
action and absolutely nowhere to go and thrown down by Mike Perry and Bryce Rohrball and the Tartans.
Timeout. Carnegie Mellon. It's their final timeout.
Will burn their final timeout
On that play,
with
the sack goes to number 92,
56
Bryce
seconds
Rohrball.
left to play here in the ball game at the Bison 36.
This defense once again making a huge stand, getting after J.D. Dayhuff as they have
58
all
seconds, please.
afternoon.
58 seconds.
Rohrbaugh has been all over it. Gibson's been all over it. Blango's been all over it. Mike Berry's been all over it. I mean, the host of Bison defenders making some huge plays here throughout today's contest. And they've really kept the lead here as this offense in the second half for the Bison has definitely tailed off a bit.
As this Carnegie Mellon team starting to find itself here as of late off that long J.D. Dayhuff runs in the afternoon that have ultimately put them in scoring position each time that they've scored has been off a J.D. Dayhuff long run.
Yeah, Dayhuff coming in, we knew he was a threat to run the football. Efficient passer, as we mentioned, but his strength has been so far on the ground. Huge second down here.
2nd and 15 from the 41. Dayhuff, play fake, underneath, Armbruster. And they're yelling to clock it.
Chance of gotta go, coming from the Tartan sideline.
40 seconds and rolling. Taking too long to get this playoff here. Dayhuff looking, firing deep, tipped, and almost could have been intercepted and knocked away. Looking deep for the big target, Alec Oshida, incomplete. And it's 4th down.
Guess who was there? The combination of Karan Eggleston and Keandre Murphy. You see the range on Murphy, from Murphy on that play, getting from the middle hash all the way over to the post to help out Eggleston, who had pretty good coverage. But ultimately, it was Murphy who caused that incompletion. Big 4th down here.
Ball game on the line. The Bison will burn a timeout.
They're first.
As they burn their first timeout of the half. It'll be a 4th and 13 from the 39-yard line with 24 seconds left in this ball game.
Yeah, some of the fans here in the stands yelling, "Why did you take a timeout? Why did you take a timeout?" Smart timeout there by defensive coordinator Dave Arnold. One last final play here. Biggest play of the game. Definitely want to bring your guys in and discuss the game plan close up.
Yeah, discuss what's going to go on here is a long 4th down. Don't want to get too lax in your coverage where you give up something underneath that turns into big yardage after the catch to give them the first down here. 39 yards to go. Thriller situation. Game on the line. 4th and 13.
Interesting to see if this Carnegie Mellon front can handle the pass rush of the Bison. And looks who's checked in for the biggest play of the game. Number 6, Chaz Blango, has returned.
As Chaz Blango in. Dayhuff empty. Lofting deep for Oshida, and he caught it! The fade down the left sideline for Alec Oshida in double coverage. The big 6'4" target reels it in with 17 seconds. Dayhuff hustles up to the line and spikes it with 14 seconds left.
Boy, oh boy, this has been a thriller. That time, size advantage there that Carnegie Mellon had is starting quarterback Keon Thompson stands at about 5'9". It was a good job by the Carnegie Mellon receiver boxing him out there, making a play, going up and getting it. As Keandre Murphy was also bearing down over him.
2nd and 10 from the 15, 14 seconds to go. No timeouts. Lofting, end zone, and here comes the flag. It's going to be pass interference.
Are you kidding me? Wow.
And Keon Thompson is down.
Boy, oh boy. You hate to see it.
Pass interference, defense number 25. By rule, the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
Carnegie Mellon gets the pass interference.
Injury timeout.
Ball's going to be placed at the 2. 9 seconds. No timeouts.
Boy, oh boy, and you hate to see it.
What's your play call here?
At this juncture of the game, I mean, you can do whatever you want here. They're at the 2-yard line. They've had some success running the football. It wouldn't surprise me if they kept it on the ground here and said, hey, we came in here living and dying by the strength of our offensive line and running this football here. 1 play left. You got to think they want to give it to Chris Haas, right?
Yeah, Chris Haas, a guy that they've relied on heavily throughout his career.
Sheesh.
Has
That's just a tough break. If you're the Bison, Keon Thompson in a vulnerable spot there. Technique. It's a technique thing there. You want to have your cornerbacks being able to see the football at time. Helmet facing the quarterback. Dayhoff, a junior, has been there before, recognizes it every time, and tries to attack Thompson there and is able to get him for another penalty.
And here we go. The plays just keep getting bigger and bigger on this drive. First and goal from the 2, 9 seconds, no timeouts for Carnegie Mellon.
See where they're going to go here. Be interesting to see how they decide to attack this Bison defense.
And because of the thought of not having a timeout, either trusting your offense to punch it in on the ground or just...
Well, Jake, they cannot, well, the chains do not need to be reset here. So I'm interested to see how that's going to work if they do keep it on the ground.
And Bill Garvey will burn the second.
Timeout, Bethany, their second.
The second timeout for the Bison, as this has been a long, long drive here.
Yeah, it has. Definitely has. And to your point, Jake, 9.2 left. Have had some success running the football here, but then this drive, though, it's been through the air. I mean, J.D. Dayhuff's able to throw some nice balls here to move them down here deep into scoring position. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they're able to capitalize here. I mean, it's been a beauty of a football game here, isn't it, though?
Yeah, this has been one heck of a game. As 9 seconds left here. The timeout is over. Ball game on the line. Bison lead at 23-19. First and goal from the 2. Haas to the left of Dayhoff. Trips to the right. Here comes the motion. Fakes the jet sweep. Dayhoff on the
It's
move.
covered beautifully.
And throws it away with 4 seconds left.
I mean, that was beautiful coverage. Sorry to cut you off there, partner. Boy, they read that one beautifully, snuffed it out. You saw they've only actually given the jet sweep once here in this game. 2 times, you saw, one in each half. But normally when that jet sweep motion comes, it's for a play action fake. And that time, the combination of Karan Eggleston and Anthony Fiasco read it beautifully. Sticky coverage.
Yeah, looking to lob that thing up to Alec Oshita. Ball at the 2-yard line, just 2 yards away. Can they do it? Probably the last play of the game. Dayhoff will throw the fade. Oshita knocked away by Eggleston.
Back-to-back weeks. Karan Eggleston.
And that's the ball game. The Bethany Bison
Number 2
have defeated the Tartans.
The Bison
A thriller down to the wire. Eggleston knocks it away, looking for Oshita on the fade ball. And incomplete, and the Bison walk out of here with a shocking victory. Wow.
And you cannot give enough credit to the defensive backs. I mean, back-to-back plays getting tested. And just nowhere to go with the football that time. They tried to get a little bit of pick action there, tried to get contact there between the DB and the wide receiver to create some separation, and just nowhere for J.D. Dayhuff to go with the football. He actually looked like he may have missed the initial slant man. But nonetheless, I mean.
Unbelievable ending here. The most exciting one we've experienced this season. Hopefully they can only get better heading forward as the Bethany Bison win this one here at home against the Tartans to add to their 3rd win, as they have 3 wins on the season, as they win this one 23-19.
Yeah, and it's going to be jumping up on Greek Hill tonight after this thriller, man. Boy, that is how you do it.
What a win here for the Bethany Bison, as I am Jay Gerber signing off. For me and Linnell Willingham, as we'd like to thank the Drehorst Foundation for providing the equipment that we are able to use. Mr. Joe Dumas, as always, for helping run these broadcasts. Trajan Franklin in the truck, Amias Peters on the camera, Esvin Horball on the camera, and all of our crew members that have helped put this one together, as the Bethany Bison win this one 23-19. Join us in 2 weeks, and so long.